Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. How is everybody doing today? I hope you're doing well. It is Friday, June the 9th, 2017, all day long, and we've still got a few hours to go. And we're happy that for those few hours, unless you're, of course, Friday or something, and then it's probably already Saturday at this point, we're going to forget all that, but we're happy that you're here with us for Technical Alpha. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going into the big one. It's the Thunderdome. It's the most important time of the year, or at least was a decade ago. Nowadays, it's kind of hit or miss, but that's okay. We're going to hope that this year's a good one. E3 begins this weekend. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing today?
I'm good.
Are you fucking still wheeling and goddamn dealing on the side? I swear to fuck, if you're over there selling and buying games in the middle of this podcast, I'm gonna fucking strip that pencil-ass freaking mustache off your face. Yeah, you better not be doing it. But yeah, hustling. It's, I know you're always fucking hustling. You're fucking, my God, if you weren't already married, you'd be on your phone in the middle of the friggin' wedding like, hold on though, I got this new copy of Earthbound. It's sealed. Yeah. I need this in my life.
Yeah,
I do remember one thing I have to
this
do.
Podcast. Lots of
I remember one thing I remember I need to do from last week is I need to turn you guys way up. So one sec.
Okay.
Hopefully that works. Yeah, I don't know. Well, no. Oh no, wait, hold on. That doesn't do anything.
Just once, I wanted a podcast where we don't have to talk about audio during the podcast.
That's it. We're on a podcast with Adam. It's basically
no, it's not. It's not legit. If you go back, if you guys have watched it, you go back. You guys are literally like, if I'm talking, the people are deaf, and then because they have to turn me down, and then you guys are like,
sounds like a you problem and not an us problem, Adam.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hold on. I can turn. That's actually the ultimate problem here with Discord is that their output volume is just low. I have Panic completely at 200% right now.
All right, let's actually start the podcast, boys.
Oh my God. I turned you up a little too loud.
He can't stop, guys. He's on a roll.
Rock and roll, boys.
Suck me sideways, Samuel. Anyway, pre-E3 weekend, we've got all sorts of shit to talk about. Probably about 3% of which Jeff will actually want to discuss, but we do have some movie stuff as usual that we can go over. There is literally, I'm not joking, a massive list because E3 has gotten into the habit of releasing half of its crap before it even starts. But there's some big stuff that we can talk about. What?
That part about this huge list is that I really don't care about almost anything on it. I was reading about it earlier.
I know it's not a hot list. It's not a hot list. Although I'm so rarely
not a hot list at all.
No, I'm so rarely looking for like a game that they've already announced. Every time I go into E3, my dream is that they actually honest to God surprise me. Like I'm gonna be watching a conference and it's gonna be like that time where, you know, The Rock or like Hulk Hogan or Stone Cold just, you know, has been out of retirement and all of a sudden you hear their theme song come on in the middle of a show and everybody loses their shit. I want that for video games. I want it to be like in the middle of a conference and then just have some theme song I haven't heard in 15 years and then lose my mind. And hopefully we get something of that at E3. But this is a pretty big one, if only because we're going to see more of the Scorpio, which is going to make it feel, more like, you know, I don't know. I'm always a sucker for E3s with new hardware like this. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that
I don't really
brings.
consider the Scorpio to be new hardware. Like I know it's like a big bump in performance stuff, but it just seems like an incremental boost more than anything. So all your hype, I'm just going to suck it away from you.
That's fine. I mean, I'm not expecting miracles, but it is technically a new box. I mean, Xbox One has been around for what now?
A while.
What is this? 2017.
Years,
3 years.
What, 2014?
Yeah, I want to say that.
It was whenever Jeff was here last. Like I got it a couple of months before he showed up when we did that burger tour.
Yeah, so it's gonna, you know, obviously not be, you know, it's not. Here's the problem. It's never going to be like when we went from the PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2 era. We're not going to be sitting there watching the fucking conference and somebody's going to show us a game on the screen and it's going to look like we've just jumped 30 years in the future. That's never going to happen ever again. It's fiscally fucking impossible, not to mention, I think, just hardware-wise impossible for similar constraints. So, regardless, it should be interesting because whenever there's new hardware, it always does get a little interesting at E3. But we'll talk more about that stuff afterwards. First thing we need to talk about, gentlemen, how were your weeks? Anything exciting happen in the last 7 days? Anybody have anything happen?
No, just same old same for me. Just making a lot of YouTube content for the retro stuff and working on some projects and just enjoying summer and life. That's pretty much it for me.
You know it does. You know weather here sucks when summer is classified as any 2 days consecutively back to back with temperatures over 15 and sun. That's literally like what. That's because that's all we've had is like back to back days of reasonable weather.
We went like 50, 50, 90, 80. I'm like, I can stick with 80, but like it just keeps going like up and down. So the weather's been kind of nuts here. It's also been like
50, 50, 90, 80.
Yeah.
Good Lord. It's all over the place.
Yeah. I
It's
had to
not
carry my
been- it's
umbrella
not
every day
been-
'cause it's like, it's going to rain. It's going to rain.
Yeah, it's actually pretty nasty.
It
here
does
today.
rain.
Well, if nothing exciting's happened, I mean, you know, I haven't, you know, I never leave the house, so nothing that exciting happened. But I did get
I've
through
started
Mist
taking more
Riven
pictures of the products.
and Mist 3. Oh, good. Yeah, we haven't
Those will be, I
gotten
got
to
like
see
the
those.
I did all the test shots. I'm gonna do the final shots tomorrow afternoon, so I'll have a bunch of nice shots with the product and lighting stuff. So I was trying it out with a different thing, so they'll be pretty fire. You guys will enjoy it. They should go up sometime next week.
Fantastic. I'm excited to see it. But yeah, I did Mist 1, Riven, and 3. That was a trip down memory lane. I'm going to take a break before 4 because my brain is mush now doing puzzles back to back to back to back. But that was kind of neat and fun to throw back down memory lane. And then I started up after Jeff got all of his like retro hauls and everything, and he was like pulling all these SNES carts out of the bag, and I saw Secret of Mana. I was like, you know what? I've never played it. I'm going to give it a go. And so last night I played some Secret of Mana. Not a bad game.
Nope.
Not a bad game. Pretty good. I mean, it's one of the first action RPGs, so it has issues. It has some issues, but it's actually pretty good. And to think it was out in '93, I mean, that's not like that deep into the SNES's
I had a hard
life.
time
So
playing that when I was really young.
I'm having a hard time playing it, and I'm not young anymore. So, you know, it's got some flaws. It's not the worst thing. It's not like really, really bad, but the combat, obviously, SNES action RPG is almost like a sentence that shouldn't exist. But yeah. So, well, that was an exciting opening. Usually something happens, but apparently everybody's just been locked in their rooms this week, so that's fine. So the first thing on the list of endless crap that we can talk about, and we can go in this in any order, really. But the thing that kind of struck me funny this week, I don't know if you guys heard about it, but we all know CD Projekt Red, so the guys that make the Witcher series. They had a couple years ago now announced that they were working on this title called Cyberpunk. I think it was like 2077?
Oh, Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah, they announced that around the time they were finishing up Witcher 2.
Yeah, so it's been a while.
Like the life cycle of Witcher 2. They said they wanted to do something not quite medieval. They wanted to be a little bit more futuristic, and they came up with Cyberpunk 2077, and that was the last I heard about it.
Yeah, so like we've been getting not like more information about the game or anything like that, but obviously we've been getting told that we're going to be seeing more of it now. They're getting ready to actually parade this thing out in public. But this week, apparently somehow, they've managed to have a bunch of assets and stuff, and possibly, I guess, some footage of some kind of the game as it was a while ago, like a couple months ago, leaked out of the company and being held for ransom. where the people are trying to actually, actually trying to get CD Projekt Red to pay up, otherwise they're going to release it to the general public. To which CD Projekt Red said, "Fucking hey, go for it, bro. We don't really care." They just said, "Give her. This stuff's really old, and if people are going to go looking for it, then that's their fault." So they kind of had like a PSA of sorts, saying, you know, obviously there is some stuff in here. The game has dramatically changed since, but if you want to go spoil yourself, possibly, then go nuts. Otherwise, we're not going to pay these people a bunch of money to get months-old assets back into our hands. It just seems so stupid. But yeah, if you guys, I don't know about Jeff, because I know he's not into the Witcher thing so much, but I know that I was more interested in Cyberpunk. Did you follow it at all, Panic?
I'm excited for it, but we can talk about this a bit later during the rest of the podcast. But in general, I don't follow games anymore. I try to avoid it during the initial press cycle until they're like maybe 2 or 3 months from release. I've just given up on like reading up on the pre-market hype. It just doesn't go well. I'm sure we'll hit on it as we go into the rest of the E3 coverage.
There's lots of pre-to-market hype that we're going to be having in this list. Let me tell you something. But Jeff, I don't suppose you even know about Cyberpunk?
Nope, never heard of it. I'm going to warn people right now. There will be about 3% MaximusBlack in this entire podcast. So I'm just gonna listen, and if I have something to chime in, because I've been just looking through this list, and I'm actually part of the wrong podcast. Like this, I actually don't care about any of this stuff. I don't care about future games. I don't care about the hottest shit, because I know we're just gonna get 30-second in-game clips and pre-rendered videos and cheesy setups and all these scripted garbage, and it's just dumb. It's dumb. I know. I
want to have a meta E3 talk instead of having like the list, because like I'm Jeff. I had the same reaction because initially, when about an hour and a half ago, I got home and I was like, "What are we talking about today?" And I looked at the document list, and it was all empty because all just E3 articles. I just went through and I'm like, all right, let's just get something on the page. And I'm just like, let's see what each of these guys are doing. And I looked at that entire list, and I'm like, I really don't care. Like none of this. Yeah. There was only one thing on there that was actually sort of remotely interesting because I accidentally saw the trailer. But I'm like, every single year we get the same type of thing from all the developers, and then they deliver something that's really not quite what they're going to show us, and we're all disappointed. And every year we wonder what amazing things they're going to show, and it's just like a repeating cycle. And I realize kind of like, why do we do this to ourselves?
Yeah, I'm really looking at the list, and I'm not even saying that to be like negative Nancy. There is absolutely nothing on here that gets me. The only thing that kind of gets me excited is the Scorpio hardware. Like, and not even the hardware. I'm just interested to see the power of the Scorpio, at least at launch, because obviously it'll get better as time goes and they start develop more games for it. But that's the only thing I'm remotely interested in seeing. I don't care about the Switch. We talk about it every week, and all they do is just keep porting old titles and putting them in on the Switch. The Sony has no games that I care about. Never played God of War. Don't care about Hideo Kojamachi's Death Stranding or whatever the hell that is. That Shenmue 3 or whatever it is. Like, I don't even know.
Whoa, time out. Time the fuck, pause, press the button, hold, whoa. Holy fuck me in the butthole. That was the most amazing butchering of Hideo Kojima's name, the guy who created and is basically god of Metal Gear Solid, and I just listened to you hack his name to bits with a rusty spoon. That might be the only game in this list that anybody gives about and I care about, and ironically, it's not going to be at E3.
Great.
It might, yeah. There was actually one game I accidentally saw the trailer for, and it might be so bad or so good. I don't know. I was just really happy when I saw it. But Need for Speed Payback. I don't know if you guys saw the
Oh.
trailer for it, but they had a
No,
full
I
trailer.
didn't.
One, it launched. It starts with it's like features my dream car, the Mustang 350 GTR. So I was like
Okay.
looking at it, I was like, let's watch this, and it had the campy voice acting. It sounds like it has a plot that's like straight out of Fast and the Furious with like
Okay.
cutscenes and like heist driving missions. So I was like kind of looking at it. I'm like, they might not fuck this up. This might actually be an interesting game. You know, they might be going back to the roots of Need for Speed. So
like most
like
wanted,
this
are we talking
trailer.
like most wanted levels of cheese, or are we talking underground levels of cheese?
Somewhere in between, like I was actually like listening to the dialogue and it sounded like straight out of like a B Fast and the Furious movie. Like they just went like, we want Fast and the
Okay.
Furious, but we Need for Speed. And like they had stuff like we're a crew. And like there's like
We're
family.
family.
Crew.
We're not family because that might get us in trouble, but we're a crew.
Yeah.
Instead of Toretto, it's like Tyler or something. And I was just like, okay. But the driving actually looked interesting. The graphics looked pretty good. Some of the racing objectives looked a little bit like the newer Most Wanted with some of the gimmicks, but it looked like it would play well. So I'm cautiously interested. And that's about the peak of my interest in all the E3 things I've seen listed. So you can take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, I'm not even interested in Need for Speed, so I don't even have that. Like I
Well,
just haven't been
um,
interested in Need for Speed in forever. Even when they were fun, when I was like 15 years old, they were only good for running away from cops and like running
Need for
into
Speed's
things
been my
and
go-to
blowing shit
racing
up.
franchise.
I just find
Project
those
Gotham
games.
Racing, I've been a Need for Speed guy.
If I were to play the games now, I would play it for 45 minutes and never turn it on again. Like it's just one of those games. Like I'm so hard to I'm not hard to please, but I'm hard to get excited about games because I've just been let down by games for so long, and the only games that I get excited for are Naughty Dog titles because I know that I'm going to receive a quality game in a movie like format where I can get attached to characters, the voice acting is good, the motion capture is well done. It's come a long way. And the games are more mature. Those are the type of games that I enjoy for one-off games. But if not, I'm kind of just playing competitive games, grinding over and over and over again, or I'm playing RuneScape. That's kind of where I'm at, man. My gaming, I'm not interested in console gaming anymore. I haven't been in a long time. I've turned over to the Master Race, and that's the show. I used to be a
You turned
console
over
gamer.
to the Master Race to play a 55-year-old game.
Well, right now, yeah.
I'm not
yeah,
into console gaming, but I'm going to hit up that RuneScape hype because it pushes my $8,000 computer to the limits.
Yep, pretty much. I'd rather play a game that I can get 1,500 hours into and enjoy the majority of it than use my $8,000 PC to play a shitty ass game that I'm going to play for 45 minutes and spend $100 on.
Why aren't
That's
you going for
the way
Witcher
it
3,
is.
man?
So I have
There's just so many amazing PC games. I mean, I agree with. I mean, PC is amazing. I love the PC. I can get all sorts of stuff done on this. I barely touch my consoles these days, and a lot of that is because exclusives have become more of a thing of the past. Whereas before, you could rely on a console having a good chunk of exclusives that would actually make it worth owning, and now that's not really the case because the people need to make money because games cost $500 million to make now, and so they can't just put it on a singular fucking console and hope that that's going to be the show.
I picked up Injustice 2 just on a lark. I picked it up on PS4.
You've been getting into that, eh?
Yeah, like I don't know why. Like I saw some videos. I saw like the video where they were showing all the cutscenes, and it was like literally like a movie thing for cutscenes in a fighting game. And I was like, these cutscenes are really well done. Like the mocap and the voice acting in it was amazing. And I'm like, for a fighting game, this is really good. And I ended up playing the game, and I'm like, it's actually a really competent fighter. Like I haven't played one in a while. I busted out my fight stick and I was playing along. I'm like, it's NetherRealm, so they do Mortal Kombat and stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
plays pretty well. And I was a huge fighter fan back in the day, but I haven't really played them in a long time. It's just like a lot of the new fighting games got too complicated, but like this one I was able to get into, and I've been enjoying it a lot. And for consoles, I think that's really where the only real genre that keeps me engrossed on the console are fighting games. I feel like they
But
haven't quite
now,
gotten it right on the PC yet.
Tekken 7 is apparently pretty damn good, and it's on the PC.
Yeah, but even then, like, I've always had quirks when I've tried to play fighting games on PCs. I don't know why, even with controllers and fight sticks on the PC, it hasn't always been as smooth as it is on the console. So like that's like literally the only thing I found. Like, yeah, if I'm gonna play an RPG or something, I'm playing it on my beast mode PC. But a fighting game, yeah, I can sit down on my couch and play that on a console, no problem.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
absolutely. Oh, I
But yeah,
think
you know,
I
Justice
think
2, thumbs up.
yeah, I've been hearing a lot of good. I mean, I'm not a fighting guy, game guy at all. I do enjoy watching competitive fighting games because it's a lot of fun to watch, and the commentators are absolutely hilarious 9 times out of 10. Especially the Smash community, they're absolutely amazing. I love that community to death. But I'm not really into it. I've always wanted to, but because I was like, you know, you don't want to be. Well, I shouldn't say that. Not everybody would care, but for me, it's like fighting games are the one game. Like I'm not really good at games in general, but fighting games are like my one genre that I have been so absolutely terrible at my entire life. There was never one point in my life that I was even remotely approaching competent at a fighting game. It was button mash or die, and it was usually button mash and die anyway. But I always loved fighting games anyway, like back Mortal Kombat on the Super Nintendo. Like Brian had that down the street, played the hell out of it, was absolutely terrible. Might have gotten all the way to the top and of the campaign ladder thing once in my life, but it was great, and just it's always been fun to watch guys who are really good at it because the time or the timing these guys have is insane. Just the speed which they play is kind of crazy.
Yeah, from like fighting games have always been like the social aspect for me, which even then it's like I don't like playing fighting games online multiplayer. For me, it's always been about you got some friends over and you guys are all sitting on the couch and you're doing like fighting games like that. Like those are like it was like a memory thing for me. Like all my cousins and I, we would just play Street Fighter 2 all the time on SNES. And that's like the kind of like social experience I like from fighting games where you have like 3, 4, 5, however many folks just sitting in the living room and you're all playing together and you just do like the impromptu tournaments where people will just like, oh yeah, winner pass. That's the kind of experience I like from the fighting games. And again, you lose that in the online multiplayer. It becomes like too hyper competitive, even though like it's nice that it can get super competitive. It's like sometimes you just want to sit down and have fun. And fighting games, I think, are like super conducive to that because you can just like you get like the gloating rights of it, you get the shit talking, you got like the skill aspect of it. It's kind of like just like that perfect storm of like a good social experience for gaming.
Yeah, I'm like it's so weird how I feel about video games these days. And I think it's mainly just because I play games for a living and
Like oversaturated.
I just don't have fun playing video games anymore on like a newer level. As in like I shouldn't like it's kind of hard to articulate how I feel about it. It's like what you're saying when you remember playing games. Like I remember going over Adam's house and we would just play games and we would just turn on whatever game and we would have fun playing whatever game as long as we were gaming. And those were the best times of gaming in my life in terms of enjoyability and to be able to just turn on a game and not judge it, to turn on a game and not oh man, it's hard. It's really hard to explain how I feel about games these days. It takes a lot for me to get excited about a game, and usually my excitement is for things like StarCraft remastered, or if they came out and said we're remastering Warcraft, like older games that came out are the ones that are interesting me. And I'm not just saying that because I collect retro, and as much as retro as I have, I rarely play them because I'm busy doing my job and other things. I don't have a whole lot of time. But even when Adam and I turn and we do the retro versus thing, there's something exciting about going and playing an old game and putting it in and just enjoying it. I can't do that with new games. Like if Blockbuster was open and Adam and I had a modern versus and we went to Blockbuster and closed our eyes and grabbed a game off the shelf, we would be much more hesitant, or at least I would be, I'd be much more hesitant to put that in the console and play it, opposed to grabbing whatever from that wall and giving it an honest try, and either having fun with it because it's bad or having fun with it because it's good or it brings back memories or whatever. I just feel like most games these days, it's all just regurgitated shit. Everything is a sequel, and everything for the most part is worse than its counterpart. And it has its moments of greatness, but that usually only lasts an hour or two. And then after that, it's just like, okay, that wow factor that they brought on this installment is gone now. It's now, I don't know if it's games are evolving too quickly or they're coming out too frequently or whatever. It's really tough to engage me and keep me engaged in these single player games. Even the online experiences. If I go get a new Call of Duty and I put it in, I'll have fun with it for an hour or two, and then I'll realize that everybody's a tryhard. Everybody's like going crazy. It's the same shit as before. It's nonstop. Like, it's like watching a bad movie that you can throw popcorn in your face and get some kind of enjoyment out of it. After a while, it's just like, I'm done.
Itself like too seriously, and it's like every game come. And again, this is, I think I'm looking at the list. Every game on here looks like most of them look like some big AAA, quadruple A, blockbuster title of like epic proportion. And like it's not like those games that you can't just pull it out, put it in and play and enjoy it. You have to get invested into it. And if you don't get invested to it, you've lost whatever time you.
And
like,
you almost
it's like,
and
you gotta into enjoying it.
You gotta almost be a fanboy of the game before you even buy it. There's no surprise or wonder. You already know everything there is to know about a game. You're already let down or excited one way. Usually, if you're excited, you're biased, and you either have some kind of underlining agenda because you're fighting, COD versus Halo or some shit like that. Or it's very rare for me to see a new game and then go, wow, I got to buy this shit. Like, there's very few games. Like that one game that I played for PS4 that Adam played as well that was beautiful. And
Horizon Zero Dawn.
No, not that one. The other one with the big
Last Guardian.
Shadow of Colossus. Yeah, Last Guardian. That was the last time I bought a game and was actually excited to play it. And when I did play it and it was a fun game, I didn't even finish it. Like, I was probably 2 hours away from it, and it was one of those things where I just kind of stopped playing it for a few days, and then I just realized, like, I don't really care that much. Like, I kind of got what I wanted out of it, and it's like, meh. I don't feel like I lost out on anything. It's like watching a Netflix series and you're really enjoying it at the start, and then you end up watching another show for a little bit, and then you go, well, I should probably pick that other show up, and you go, well, no, actually, I'd rather just go back and rewatch Dragon Ball Z. I'd rather just go and do something else. So that's how I feel about most games these days. I don't know if it's because I am getting older, as somebody said in the chat, which probably plays a factor. Also, the fact that it is my job, so I look at games differently, and I have to be very selective on what I can play and what I can afford to play. But I think at the end of the day, those are excuses, and the reality of it is I just don't get excited about video games anymore. It's exciting to have big events like E3 and have the community come together and have a lot of, discussion and hype towards certain things. But I feel like a lot of the hype these days, it's all just artificial hype. It's who's spending the most advertising dollars and who's bullshitting the most. And at the end of the day, it's usually PlayStation, Microsoft, and, Nintendo and Sony duking it out, and Nintendo's in their own goddamn world. So it's usually just Sony and Microsoft having a pissing contest. It seems as though Microsoft, for the first time in a while, actually has a leg up on PlayStation, but we won't even. And the thing is, we won't even know. We'll see an E3. We
won't get the games to enjoy,
and we won't even know anything. It'll just be more hype. It'll be an announcement to an announcement. So when I see this list, it's cool. Yeah, I'll chime in, and that's great. But at the end of the day, I don't really care. I would much rather play RuneScape
you know what this
right now.
Sounds like right now? This literally sounds like listening to people talk about music. Okay? What I'm hearing right now is I'm hearing, okay, rock rock died in like the 60s. And then there's the next generation that said, no, fuck you, rock died in the 70s. No, fuck you, rock died in the 80s. No, man, 90s grunge, that's the fucking tits. Oh no, Nickelback is my jam. This sounds like people talking about music, and you could apply this to basically every medium there is. Here's what I'm hearing right now. People all have their golden age of whatever entertainment medium they have and hold dear. We all love the well, I don't know, Panic. We like Jeff and I, Backstreet Boys. Jeff, one of the biggest Backstreet Boys fans I even fucking know in my entire life. Probably never gonna change. People get attached to things.
Nor deny my love of
happened.
Backstreet Boys are in sync.
Yeah, so people get attached to things at very specific times in their life. There's usually a pretty easy range of age that you can attach it to, and then despite the fact that that exists, there's also a bit of a problem when you're that age. You don't notice any of the shit that you are talking about right now going on. Everything that you just talked about. All about marketing, all about the hype, the announcement of the announcement, who's sucking whose dick harder. All that shit existed in the 80s, in the 90s, in the early 2000s. It exists now, it exists tomorrow, it exists in 100 years from now, and that doesn't change, never has, never will. There are still, right now, it's just like when people say, music today sucks. That's why I use the music analogy. People say that all the time. You hear that all over the place. Everything sounds the same. It's all shit. The radio blows. There is still metric fuck tons of amazing music being made and signed to labels that you just don't hear and go up. Yeah, you have to go looking for it a little more than usual, but it's all still fucking there. Games, like you said, maybe it's an oversaturation issue. Perhaps it is. But when these games that are being put out in front, just like Justin Bieber is being put out in front of the fucking pop world, selling millions upon millions upon millions of shit, except the only difference is that the guys from Rockstar Games don't go out and get fucking lit up on coke and drive a Lamborghini into a telephone pole. That's the same. It's the same shit. But there's still good stuff. But the good stuff still happens. You just have to maybe look for it a little more. There are loads of amazing fucking games that are still being made.
Really?
Some of them,
because I'm looking at the list, Adam. I'm seeing Crackdown 3, Forza 7, Sea of Thieves, more Tomb Raider, FIFA 18. That's what I'm seeing.
You're seeing pre-E3 list of games that the big companies are going to bring that they want people to know because that's what the most people want to see. They're not pandering to your fucking salty old jaded ass. They're pandering to the 16-year-olds that are out there losing their fucking minds about FIFA 18. A lot of games
on this list are going to do really well, and a lot of these games are good. A lot of these games might even be good. They might even be good. Right, but a lot of these games are the ones that are going to sell. That's fine. But the thing is, and again, this isn't from my perspective, not Jeff's perspective. When I said I don't care, I wasn't speaking on the quality of the game. Some of them are going to be good, like Middle-earth Shadow War, probably going to be really good. Tomb Raider, probably going to be really good, and they'll be technically excellent games. But, and I get Jeff's point. A lot like the older games and like the stuff that we used to play, you know. These games are a lot more of an investment if we want to enjoy them, and we're probably not going to make that investment for various reasons. We're not going to be able to just put the game in, start playing, and it's just going to be like, oh, this is amazing. Like, it's not going to be like when you go to the retro shelf and you just pull a game off of it and you just put it in and play, and then you're just going to have fun. Like, a lot of these games, it's not going to be like that. On FIFA 18, you're going to have people are going to be grinding. People aren't just going to be playing that just for fun. Like, people are going to go nuts on it. And I guarantee you there's going to be worldwide fraud for how popular FIFA is with people stealing gaming accounts just so they can buy more microtransaction crap. But again, like these games, they're probably some of these games are going to sell ridiculous amounts, and some of them are going to be really good, and most of them are probably going to fall short of expectations. And I think that's kind of the point. Now it's all about like hype and more hype instead of actually selling the games and giving us more, new games. I don't see very many physically new properties on here other than like Days Gone and Death Stranding. A lot of these are
Okay, I have
NBA Live 18, DLC, Battlefront. It's all sequels. Far Cry 5, the fifth Far Cry game.
Okay. All right. I'm with you. Sequels. You want people like to see new shit. Okay. Here's the thing though. I want you to go examine your top 10 games list, both of you. And now I want you to count in your top 10 games list how many of those fucking games are one-offs or brand new IPs or anything. Go ahead.
Adam, we're in two totally different conversations, man. I see the point you're making, and you're absolutely correct. Like, they've been doing this shit forever, but it just doesn't change the quality of game. It doesn't change the same bullshit, the bullshit that we deal with at all these E3s. And I'm talking about the list that I'm seeing in front of me. It's all crap. It's all crap to me. I mean, yes, you're right. There's a FIFA. FIFA sells like motherfucker. I'm sure Forza Motorsport will be great for all the Forza fans out there. That's wonderful. But there's nothing on this list that screams out excitement for me.
This list that would scream out excitement. If you could see something on this list,
what would I like to see on the list?
Yeah. What would you like to see?
Well, I would actually just like to see
what would get that blood pumping.
Something creative. I like anything from Naughty Dog because it's usually new IPs, good stories, well directed, well written.
The Last of Us.
Yeah, The Last of Us 2. I don't see that on this list. Are we going to see gameplay footage? Or are we going to get another 30-second, rendered video? Like, yeah, sure. There's a few things. The whatchamacallit, Red Dead 2. At least we had to wait years for a second one of that. That'll be nice to see. But beyond that, there's not a whole lot there for me. I get what you're saying, man. I get the whole music analogy. I get the whole they've been doing on this for so long, but it's all with the way the time has changed and with the internet and it's different. It's just much, even like from 5 years ago, it's different. Everything is just it's just so uninteresting because I've seen it all. Like this E3 will be identical to the last E3. I've seen it all. Unless I'll be surprised, and I'll even say it when I see something that surprised me. I'll go, "Wow, that looks interesting." Okay, I'm down for that. I don't have fun. Yeah, like even the Resident Evil VR. When I played Resident Evil VR, yeah, sure, it was the same Resident Evil, but I got to play it and it got to experience it in a whole new way. VR was incredible. It was probably the best game that I've played in the last 5 years because of the experience. Those things excite me because it's new. It was refreshing. At least they took the old and made it with the modern and made it good. But yeah, that's how I feel. I mean, sure, I get exactly what you're saying, dude. I'm not arguing that. I just Far Cry 5, like Jesus Christ, man. I'm just tired of it. I'm tapped. I'm tapped. I'm tapped. I'd rather just turn on StarCraft 2, man. Just play StarCraft 2. That's how I am. You guys might be different, and there are plenty of 16-year-olds out there that are getting hyped for this stuff. Sure.
You're a PC gamer guy now, so let's ignore everything because most of this is all console shit. There is a PC block at E3 now. They have an entire show specifically for PC. Which never existed for the longest time because E3 was almost exclusively
for the past 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, it was almost exclusively about consoles forever, and you hear like PC related stuff, but it would only be during like the conferences that they could put it in with the rest of the games. Is there something that you would want to see that comes out for the Master Race? There has to be something. You're still I understand like I understand that you play games for a living. You play a small selection of games for a living because they're the ones that allow you to make money and not, be poor. So I get that. I do the same thing, and it's hard, and it makes games a job instead of a hobby, and this, that.
Well, you're a little different. You're a little different because you actually get to play what you want. I don't. Right? You've kind of built your career around that.
But is that really any better? Because I'm still like if I want to play a game, if I start up a stream and I play something, I'm playing it because the community is also interested in, for example, seeing me play through Myst, the recent thing that I'm doing. I can have a good time with it, but at the end of the day, if I turn on my stream, I can't just be like, well, if I'm not really in a great mood. And I don't really feel like playing it. I'm not going to get 3 hours into the stream and say, fuck this, I'm just going to go play some Rocket League for the next 5 hours. And then there's still the same negative connotations that you start attaching to games because you play them for a living. It's just now I'm applying them directly to games that I actually enjoy, which sometimes can be pretty shit. But regardless, on the PC side of things, other than StarCraft, what I'm trying to see is what I want to hear from Mr. Black right now is I want to hear, do you like games anymore? Period. Because I'm going to say right now, what I'm hearing from you is you want to retire from playing games for good. You want to go fishing and watch UFC and collect retro games, but only play retro games once every 2 months, and then that's it. Because you don't get. You're telling me you're not excited about games.
You don't want to touch them.
Yeah, you just want to look at. You just want to look around from a distance. Fuck everything else. So do you enjoy games anymore? Like at all? Period. Is there anything you want to look forward to? Do you even look forward to things?
I don't look forward to things. If something usually find out the new games from people in the stream. They're like, hey, have you heard about this? And then I'll go out and I'll check it out, and I'll either say, oh yeah, yay or nay. Yeah, I enjoy playing games. Of course I do. I'm a gamer. Been playing games before I can remember. I just am now selective with my games, and it's mainly because there's a lot of crap out there, and there's always been a lot of crap. But right. I'm much more aware of the crap, and and now since my time is limited in terms of what I can afford to play when I want to play it, I have to be very ultra selective on said games. If not, then like you said, I don't make a living, or I don't make as good of a living. Mm-hmm. Of course, there'll be people that'll support me to play whatever, and chances are the worse of the game, probably the more money I'd make. But the thing is I am very selective on what I like to play, and just in the last decade, there hasn't been a whole lot that I've been interested in playing. It's not that I hate video games. I quite love video games. And when video games are great, I don't shut up about them. Just kind of like when I played Resident Evil 7, I try to talk everybody to get into a VR and play the game. It was amazing. The Last of Us was an incredible game, which I really enjoyed. And then I really can't think of too many more games off the top of my head that have left an impression on me.
Simulator.
Yeah,
Real
maybe.
Estate Simulator.
So, I mean, and to be fair, I probably play 2 video games outside of my regular video games fully a year. So, I may not be the most qualified person to say all games suck, which I've never said that. Most of the enjoyment that I've been getting out of games are from indie developers. Braid was great. Limbo was great. Those types of shorter 6-hour games that have purpose and have a mission and get it done and don't try and drag on for the sake of making a longer game. Even the first Shadow of Mordor or whatever the fuck it was called, that was fun for about 6 hours. I really enjoyed that too. And now we're probably on number 4 for all I know. I have no idea. But
the sequel's coming out for that one. Like, that's it.
To answer your question, I do like video games. I love video games, and that's why I am selective. And you make it seem like I'm out attacking video games. That's not the case. In fact, I'm in my own little world. I play a select few games. When something comes out, I don't sit there and I don't rant and rave about it. I don't go and read up a bunch of shit. I don't make reviews and go balls deep on games or overly analyze and critique games. I'm just a simple man. If there's something that intrigues me, I'll buy it. I'll play it. If I enjoy it, I'll finish it. If I don't, I'll never turn it on again, and I won't really say that much more about it. I'm not out on some mission, and most certainly I'm not going PC master race. It has nothing to do with what is better than whatever else. I mean, I've played more solo player games on the console in the last 4 years than I definitely have on PC. I actually can't think of any one single player experiences that I played on the PC other than maybe Player Battleground Unknown, which is still a multiplayer game that I actually sat down and played on the PC. The majority of my off gaming that isn't what I'm playing for a living is done on the consoles. It's just there's not a lot of console games that I'm enjoying. And from this E3 list, I'm not seeing another one on there that I enjoy. Or that I think I'm going to enjoy.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, this list does not encompass everything that's going to be there. That's why I had to also ask, and Panic did as well, if there's anything that you would want to see, because there's stuff here. This is just the. We have to make sure people know that these games are going to be their list.
Oh, they all know it's going to be there, Adam. Yeah. They all know. Whatever their favorite franchise is, they know they're getting another one in 6 months. We don't need to announce that to them. It's shoved down every YouTube advertisement, every Twitch ad that's played, every Facebook ad you see. We know we're getting NBA Live 2018. We know we're getting another rehash of a Nintendo Wii game ported onto the Switch. We know we're getting another Forza. We know we're getting another God of War. We know we're going to get another Metal Gear Solid. We know we're going to get another Resident Evil. We know we're going to get another South Park and Assassin's Creed. We know we're going to get another Far Cry and a Witcher. We know we're going to get another Sims and a shitty Star Wars game. We know we're going to get another Madden and an NBA 2K. We know we're going to get another Shadows of Mordor or whatever the Middle Earth bullshit. We know we're going to get another Tomb Raider. We know we're going to get another fucking Star Trek game. We know it all. What we don't know is the good stuff that you say we don't see, that if I don't see it, then I can't get excited about it because it never gets announced. We all know what's coming. Is it going to suck or not?
One man has a dream.
Oh, my God. You've trumped me for jaded asshole in gaming. I think you've surpassed me now. I thought I was like the most jaded person in gaming ever. I think we've successfully.
You're so jaded. You're going back and playing all the missed games in order.
I don't know. That's just fun.
Oh, I did.
Setting up old computer software to do this.
Now that you mentioned it. I did play the new Myst game on PC, and I enjoyed the fuck out of it.
Abduction.
You know why it was good, Adam? Because it was a good game from a good publisher that took its time, that had a purpose, and went out and got it done. And I enjoyed it. And if it came out on the PC and the VR at the time, I would have done it in VR, but they didn't have it, so... I played it just in regular on PC, and I played it from start to finish, beat it in 2 days, and enjoyed the shit out of it. I'm selective. I don't even think I'm jaded, man, because believe it or not, I mean, there's a little bit of jade in there for sure, but believe it or not, there's a little bit. But I don't want you, I don't want you to point too many fingers at me, because if people are honest and they're listening to this podcast right now, I don't think that people will disagree with what I'm saying. I think what I say is valid.
Personally,
I may be on a little bit more of an extreme way of doing it because I'm animated when I say things and I kind of over exaggerate certain things. And of course, I understand it's an industry. I understand that companies need to make money. I understand that it's harder to get new IPs greenlit and developed because people don't want to see anything else but Halo 17 or Destiny 32. That's just the way it is. I understand that. But at the same time, what I'm saying, I'm not bullshitting. It's just the truth, and I'm tired of it.
Well, I'm not saying you're bullshitting. I mean, it's not necessarily that you're bullshitting. It's just like,
what are you excited about, Adam? Because you seem to be defending this. I mean, I know you jerk off E3 all the time anyway, because this is like your little jerk off circle time. So why don't you tell me what you're so excited about? You know, because I feel like
more fun listening to this than actually playing some of the games.
I feel like you're more excited for the festivities of E3 than what you are the video games.
The pageantry.
Yes. I don't have any qualms. I love E3 because is this the Finnish Panic? Is that what that plays to nobody listening to this shit right now? The pageantry. Okay. I love E3 because I do like the pomp and circumstance, the blown out of proportion stupid shit that happens, because I just think it's fun. It's fun in a stupid way. You look back and you get to laugh about how silly shit go. You know, you can see like Usher on fucking stage singing at Ubisoft for no apparent reason. Like, what the fuck is that about? Or you get, what was it? Who was it? Was it last year, the year before? Who was it? And he
God,
sang
Jason
during the
Derulo.
Battlefield 1 thing.
It's
Jason
horrible.
Derulo, and
Oh
he
my
didn't hit
God.
a
Yeah, that was
single
ridiculous.
note the whole
He
fucking
didn't have
song.
he didn't have his auto tune on.
That hurt my soul, but it was funny, right? I like that shit. It's silly and it's over the top. So I do enjoy that a lot, yeah. And I particularly enjoy when they do have new hardware like the Scorpio. Yes, it's not fucking the next age of computer hardware, because consoles don't get to do that anymore. Back 15 years ago, consoles in some crazy way sort of held up against PCs because the gap wasn't the size of the Grand Canyon. Now it's literally impossible to close because a console is not allowed to cost more than $599. So what the fuck are they going to do? Like, what are they going to cram into the damn thing? So you can't expect that anymore. But at the same time, you know what is fun for me, a bit as a tech guy, is to see how they maximize that $599. You're looking at people trying to get 4K gaming into a $599 box that can be mass produced. That shit is fucking nuts. So I can't wait to see what Microsoft manages to pull off with this. And they just announced that I know this means nothing to 90% of the people listening, but they opened up another gig of RAM. They have a shared RAM in consoles, right? They opened up another gig for developers. So instead of that gig going to running the operating system, they get another full gig, which actually doesn't sound like much, but for a game developer, that's pretty fucking massive. So it'll be fun to see just I want to see what it looks like. I don't know if we're going to see what it looks like, but I want to see what the fuck it looks like. They just trademarked a new S logo this week, like a couple of days ago. So maybe it is literally going to be called the Scorpio. I have no fucking clue, but if it is, cool, whatever. But as far as the games go, what I look forward to, like I said earlier in the cast, is not necessarily all the stuff that we see in this list. Because yes, obviously, as you so eloquently put for almost a straight minute of listing off the games that we have in this file,
we know.
Yes, we know that these games are going to be there. But what I look forward to, even if it doesn't happen, I get excited about that 1% chance that, like we said at the beginning, the music kicks in and you're like, what is this shit? And something pops up on screen and it's a game that miraculously did not get leaked and nobody knew about, but it's a big title that means a lot to a lot of people, and you hear the crowd go fucking bonkers. That's awesome. That's what I look forward to at E3. I don't really care.
39.
When was the last time they did that?
They did a reveal for Last of Us. Wasn't that last E3? The Last of Us 2?
I'm not sure.
And they had the acoustic guitar thing, and people in the crowd were like, "Is this what we're about to see?" And then all of a sudden, it came up, and you saw what was her name, Ellie. I don't know.
And then they did the late title card at the end of that.
Yeah, and it fucking people were like, right? Because The Last of Us is a huge game by a huge developer, and people weren't necessarily expecting that. So moments like that is pretty awesome. And
you're there for the shock factor.
We're Adam, believe it or not, as much as we have made the narrative here, like we're totally on opposite ends of the spectrum, I don't think we are at all. I even said I'm interested in the Scorpio and what it's going to be able to do, and that's exactly what you just said. Also, you said we want to tell the people about the games that are coming out, and I literally said they already know all the games that are coming out. I think what it is that differentiates you from I and why you enjoy E3 so much is because you and I, but I've given up, you had a lot of those moments, of those wow moments years ago when making an announcement about a game was new, when the internet and everything didn't tell you all the stuff that was coming, and you had those surprised moments and those awe moments when you hear the crowd clapping and you see the title, and even though you may not see anything about the game, that's all it took to get the hype going. And you want that moment again. It's like going to the movies and going to see a new Star Wars film after 15 years, and all you want to do is you want to capture that moment again. It's that experience of E3. I really don't think it has anything to do with, very little to do with an excitement about what we're seeing on what's coming up. It's the what ifs. It's the what are we not seeing, because everything else is not exciting and it's all the same. There's a few things in there that will be interesting to listen to that may capture some traction and build some actual excitement. But for the most part, it's all what we've seen before. And I'm with you on that. I feel like when I do watch E3, and I will, that I will have those moments of wow. And trust me, Adam, when those moments happen, I won't be a jaded fuck that'll be like, oh well, the all it was is CGI or that just looks stupid. I don't like the title. I will legitimately be blown away and excited for a surprise, something that's going to throw me off and go, wow, I didn't see them doing that. I didn't hear about this. I didn't think this was coming back or whatever. I will legitimately be excited, but it's hard to have those feelings. And the way you're always optimistic about E3 because you enjoy waking up and knowing it's an E3 day and you're constantly on the forums and shit. What it is for you is the same thing what it is for me on Oscar night. I love Oscars. I love the small things. I love seeing who's going to win sound design. I love seeing who's going to win cinematography. I love seeing, who's going to win best picture. All those things that a lot of people don't really care about. A lot of people only care about the best picture, best actor, best actress, best this, best that, the main things. Kind of like the Call of Duty, the Forza, the whatever, the big AAA titles. You're kind of that, but with E3 where you enjoy the smaller things. You enjoy, how are we going to get all this 4K or 8K capabilities on a small screen? They're going to do all that in a $599 box, and it's going to bring it to your homes. How much money are they going to lose out on this? Are they going to be able to recoup all that cash? See, you love all that shit. I don't care about it. Are the games going to play? Are they not going to play? Is it going to look good? Is it not going to look good? Are the games going to suck? That's me. So you're you like all the intricacies, and I'm just like, let me see the goods, yay or nay, and that's the show.
I'm just also put the box in my lap. Let me see how it works.
But yeah, no, there was no narrative being painted that we were wildly different on those specific things. My digging on what I did there was just because there was such a hate boner for sequels and shit like that, and the same stuff coming here. The thing being said is it's the same things over and over again. I know. Personally, here's my thing.
The other part of it,
I don't give a fuck about if they're gonna come out with Halo 17. You know why? Because at the end of the day, it's not the number that's strapped to the end of it, because eventually they're going to roll that shit back around and just call it Halo.
Just call it Halo.
Is that game good? And the only way you're ever going to find out about that, other than getting it in your hands, is, you're going to see this shit. And some of it is CGI, and it's not what you're going to see in the game. And we've been burned 1,000 times over, but there's got to be a point in which you start seeing the stuff. And that's E3 9 times out of 10, unless it's like the Tokyo Game Show or GDC or some shit where they do like these random reveals because they don't want to be buried in the hell that's E3. So that was where I was digging, because I personally both Far Cry 5, it's dumb, but it's not the fact that it's Far Cry 5, it's the fact that the game Far Cry 5 looks like shit. That's the problem with Far Cry 5. So I mean,
you could have Star Wars 20, right? You could have Star Wars Episode 20, and if it's amazing and it's great, who cares if it's number 20? Give me 25 of them. But the track record with these video games, and a lot like movies, the more they go on, you hit Saul number 7, Saul number 8, and you become less excited about this. Less excited unless you're
of hype.
Yeah, and then, unless like there's a new director that comes in that has a good track record that may give you that little hope of maybe this one will be different. It's like that, or with Final Fantasy we talked last week, where they bring it into the in-house, or they switch everything, and then all of a sudden that gives you something to talk about, and you're like, oh, for fuck. You're like, well, now we're fucked. But if it was like, in the opposite direction, where you found out that they were completely staying to the roots and, whatever, and it was the original guys, then you would get excited about that. So, it definitely, with the sequels, I'm not hating on sequels. I know it may have come off a little bit like that, and it's hard not to come off like that when you are saying things like Forza 7 And you are saying things like Far Cry 5.
Ridiculous.
It doesn't matter how I try and articulate this. It just comes off like I'm a hater and for sequels because the numbers are getting ridiculous. And it is ridiculous. But that's how you sell games, and you have an IP and you have to use the IP that sells. So I'm with you on that, dude. I'm not as jaded as you think I am, bro. I'm not. But I am jaded.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to be sold on it. I want to see this year's E3 a game show up, and then Jeff just shit himself about it. That's what I need to see now. So I want to know what that is. Apparently, you're not even sure what that would be. Like that's just some nebulous thing. But when
probably
it happens,
anything from Naughty Dog,
so
man.
much noise.
If I hear Naughty Dog
every year, it's really hard to know until you see it.
See, if Naughty Dog comes up and there's an IP there, or even a sequel, then I can get excited because they haven't let me down yet.
We're definitely going to see Naughty Dog.
It's definitely going to happen. So
300%.
I want to see Remedy. I want to see something from Remedy.
Okay, let's hold this because we might actually be able to talk about stuff that we would like to see from people we'd like to see it, or just whatever. And we'll try and be realistic about it because obviously if I said I want to see Jet Set Radio, that's never going to happen. But we're getting Bubsy, so there's that.
I would love to see Jet Set. That would get me excited. That was like when Mirror's Edge, the second Mirror's Edge got announced. I was pumped.
Yeah.
I was pumped for it. And it looked great,
so
but it was...
I like that game. I love Mirror's Edge too.
Oh,
wrong with you
Panic.
two?
Oh,
the free
all
running
right.
was
We're gonna go sell out for a while and make up for the fact that Panic just said Mirror's Edge 2 was a great game. We're gonna be right back in about 5 or
Pageantry,
so
Adam.
minutes.
Pageantry.
Well, it did have a lot of pageantry. I'll give you that. That's for sure. But we're gonna maybe talk a bit about what we would like to see, or try and come up with something for what we'd like to see at E3, and then maybe some of that stuff happens. That's the fun thing too. I like about E3. Let's make some stupid predictions and see which one of them actually happen. It's like going to bet. But yeah, we'll be right back in a couple of minutes. Sit tight and enjoy the sellout. Hey guys, if you're enjoying Technical Alpha and are interested in supporting us, do I have a solution for you? We've set up this Patreon page to help us help you, help us and you. We've got a list of options that would make a used car salesman cry that provide you with a range of goodies for your support. Head on over to patreon.com/technicalalpha to see what's up for grabs. Like fancy badges and stuff? Subscribe to us on Twitch to get access to, well, badges and stuff. Not big on subscriptions? We have a button below that allows you to directly throw money at our faces. Careful you don't take those eyes out though. We are so very fond of our eyes. Honestly though, while we like to joke about the sellout, just being a regular listener is a huge help, and we're incredibly thankful for all of your support. Technical Alpha will continue soon, so sit tight. are back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for enduring yet another sellout time. We do appreciate it. We do appreciate the hanging out for the sellout. Also, big thank you to everybody checking us out on iTunes, giving us those 5-star ratings. They've been going a long way. We've been still growing on iTunes at a reasonable pace, I might add. And so we got to thank you guys for that. We're approaching 100. My goal is not at the end of this month, end of next month. If we get to 100 reviews, I'm a happy man. I think we're at like 83 or something like that right now. So we are not far.
The big goal here is to get to 5K on that Patreon because
that
really
too. We're also
close.
Ridiculously close to that too.
We are Miyagi bumped up, which jumped us up big time. So if there was ever a time, guys, when y'all are like, man, I really think I should chuck a 5 sheet on this podcast so I can get that LAGTV verses and get some of that swag that's coming or whatever the case may be, it's that time. We getting real close. We getting real close.
Super close. I wonder what our first movie is going to be.
I don't know. We'll figure that out when the time comes, but I don't even want to get excited about it yet. Can't wait. Can't wait to watch the movies.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good. We will get around to a little bit of movie talk today. We don't have anything huge listed at the moment in there, but we can talk a bit about that towards the end. But first, wanted to definitely talk a bit more about if just take some guesses what you might like to, what you think might show up, and that's not necessarily listed already. If anything comes to mind, and then what would be your dream this E3? You close your eyes. What is your dream? What game or games that if the screen got lit up by that logo would have you screaming like a schoolgirl, so to speak? Is there anything? I'll start with you, Panic. Is there anything that that you've got that you'd really like to see show up? Maybe not even a really specific title, but maybe there's just a dev you would like to see something from that you haven't seen in a while.
I want to see Remedy. They're the guys who did Alan Wake, Max Payne, those type of games. They did Quantum Break, which actually it didn't go over as well as most people had hoped. I enjoyed it. It was a good game, but they do a lot of those like pulpy story games. And they haven't done something like in their older style in a while, so I'm hoping we see something from them. I know they're working on something, we just don't know what it is. I'm trying to think. I want a good action RPG. I don't even know which dev would do it at this point. That genre is kind of staled out on us. Diablo 3 kind of sucks in my opinion. Path of Exile is all right, but I kind of just want like a good story-driven action RPG.
Don't they have a PoE 2 en route?
I think they're working on it, but I don't know if that's like an E3 type title that they would like say they're doing.
So you're looking for like a top-down RPG, like
not necessarily top-down, just some kind of action game. Yeah, like I mean, technically Dark Souls would kind of count as an ARPG. I mean, we just got the Surge recently, but I just want some kind of good action game. With story elements.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. They are getting harder to come by, for sure.
Yeah, I know it's kind of like on the downtick for that genre at this point, but yeah, or a good space combat game.
Anytime you can get a good space combat game.
Anytime.
I would say
anytime. Like anytime.
Oh, obviously Naughty Dog. I've already said that like 10 times.
Yep.
So anything from them. I would love to see another Bloodborne. I really, really liked Bloodborne a lot. I enjoyed Bloodborne more than any of the Dark Souls video, any of them. I just really enjoyed it. It was faster paced. It was really difficult, but it wasn't hard for the sake of being hard. It stayed true to the Dark Souls difficulty, but it didn't make it dumb. The mechanics were well done for the most part. Yeah, I would love to see another Bloodborne. So if there's that, I'd be really stoked for that. And beyond that, I mean, obviously, if Blizzard announces anything that is StarCraft Remastered related to get a date for that.
Doesn't really announce at E3, do they? They
I
usually
don't
do
think
all their
so,
stuff at BlizzCon.
but now that they are so heavily in bed with Activision, I mean, they always have been, but even with the merger now of BattleNet with Activision and stuff, you just never know. Blizzard may
It's
make
true.
an
You
appearance
just
of
never
some
know.
sort. It would be a good platform to do it, but obviously they will save a lot of the big stuff for BlizzCon. You're right about that. Maybe we'll even just get more info on BattleNet and how that's going to work, which will be interesting to hear in terms of news.
They might merge that in with the Destiny stuff or stuff in general.
Yeah. But I can't really think of many other games. Obviously, you know, the pipe dream would be a Jet Set, but that's just not going to happen. I can't really think of much more off the top of my head, but Bloodborne would sound good. Naughty Dog would sound great.
Sega's actually going to show off the Sonic game that they came up with, like the 2D one. That's like the retro version.
Yeah, it looks
it's
good.
Apparently getting good reviews, like from people who like the press who've played it. They said if you like the old Sonic games, you're gonna love Sonic Mania. It's got a lot of the general stuff going on with it. I'm kind of interested in that. Apparently, it's not like even just like a small dinky game. It's got a pretty good chunk of content, like on par with one of the older Sonic games. So it's not like even like a half game. It's like actually gonna be like a full-fledged thing. Should be interesting. People are saying it's going to be it's worth the money. Surprisingly.
Yeah, that is actually like one of the few things that Sega has actively done what I would consider to be right for a long time. I don't know why it took them so long to get to the point where they just said, you know, to hell with it, we're actually going to make another 2D Sonic game. It's only what people have been asking for a decade plus now, so why not give it a go?
They hired the developers that did like they ported the old Sonic games to like and made the widescreen versions. They're pretty much like, yeah, you guys can go do what you do. We're just gonna say you guys can do it now. And they're like they brought them on board. So like that's part of the reason why. And those guys like understood the level design of the old games. So apparently the reason the press has been loving it is because they said a lot of these look like the old zones you had, but they've added new mechanics, but it's not too complicated. It plays the same way the old one did. It's intuitive and like the level design is good, unlike a lot of the other platformers that have come out recently, where they all look really fancy, but the level design is actually garbage. Like they said, the level design in this is actually pretty good. So I'm actually also pretty optimistic about that one. So I guess I was wrong when I said it was just Need for Speed at that point.
Yeah.
Hopefully a Sonic game, and maybe Sega won't fuck it up.
I think this will be fine. I think it will be fine because Sega isn't technically the ones doing it, and I think that's exactly the reason why it's not going to suck. Because Sega isn't really getting their hands into it. As sad as that is to say, I mean, when it takes somebody else handling your franchise, your main franchise, before it finally becomes something that isn't crap, that's kind of damning for the company. But like we talked about several podcasts ago when we were talking about Peter Moore, was it Peter Moore? Yeah, Peter Moore. It's Peter Moore. When he left, when he retired, we talked about that briefly, and I talked about how he was at Sega for a while during their transition period, their awkward time where they were tanking pretty hard with the Dreamcast thing and everything, and Peter said to them, "Look, you guys, your marketing in North America is killing you right now." And they gave them that marketing survey that happened, and they were like, you made this up. This is garbage. This isn't what people think at all. And then now here we are. And I feel like Sega still feels like that's the case. I don't think that's changed at all for whatever reason. So I am definitely, and I know a lot of people are excited about that Sonic game, and so it will be fun to see how that happens. I'm weirded out a bit that they have this other Sonic game, like the Sonic Forces. Like, what's?
I didn't even look that up, and I'm gonna regret it because I'm gonna look it up. But while I'm looking it up, why don't you tell us what you're excited about, Adam?
Yeah, because I want to know. I want to know why they have Sonic Forces and Sonic Mania in the same. Like it's happening at the same time. That just sounds like the dumbest idea ever.
This is developed by the Sonic team.
Oh, okay. So one's gonna be bad and one's gonna be good. So that's good. That's easy to know. And that one's probably 3D versus 2D.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna let you
who
talk
knows?
about your stuff before we talk about this ridiculousness of what I'm seeing here.
Sure, absolutely. So, out of the list, there's not like a lot of games that I'm super like what I would consider to be super excited about. Just because a lot of the stuff that I would like to see, is either so far away that even if it's announced or shown, it's whatever, or like for Blizzard, for example, Jeff brought up Blizzard. They never bring up anything at E3 usually. I'll die an old gray man before I stop wanting to see Warcraft 4.
Yeah.
I'll like it bothered. I actually talked about that the other day in another stream. We were talking about how Elder Scrolls Online right now just released the Morrowind section, and it's been getting quite a bump from that, and it's doing really well. And people were in this chat were just like Warcraft for life, World of Warcraft for life, and I was like, look, the only reason anybody thinks World of Warcraft is good is because you've been playing it for over a decade. That's literally the only reason anybody thinks this game is good. 90% of the people that I know that have tried to get into Warcraft in the last 5 years at any of the expansion releases or whatever, and they're like, hey, we'll max you out to 90 right away, and no, have all abandoned that game so quick because it's archaic and it's silly, and it's only really for the people that have been playing it pretty much for the last decade. But what I said in that conversation was, why part of the reason why I really hate World of Warcraft is because Blizzard has been actively using it as an excuse to not make Warcraft 4 for the longest time. Yeah. Oh, we can't make Warcraft 4 because World of Warcraft's lore just, we can't run with it. We can't possibly make Warcraft 4 because of World of Warcraft exists. And so I'm
going to let you guys in on a little, and all the folks in on a little insider info.
Info. Oh man, is this a technical alpha exclusive?
Maybe this will get us some views. Maybe this will get us some views. No, it's nothing major. But when Blizzard sent me out to Las Vegas and I sat down at the table with every big honcho there, including Michael Morheim himself, and had a conversation with him, his wife, all the guys that are managing all the different departments, Heroes, StarCraft, Overwatch, all that stuff. And back then Overwatch was, I do believe, was still in like beta. So they were just talking about certain things. I asked them straight up, the community managers and the people that would know what's going on, the guys that are developing games, doing all this stuff. I asked them, are we going to get a Warcraft 4? And I said, is it even possible to get a Warcraft 4? Of course, they would never say yes. That's not going to happen. That's going to happen. But what I did get was almost like a smile, and it was one of those things where I'm not going to say they were saying yes without telling me. But it was one of the, they said this. They said, we have been pleasantly surprised, and I'm paraphrasing, but not by much. We have been pleasantly surprised with the amount of people that are interested in a Warcraft 4 game. And they just kind of left it at that. So it was the conversation, the feel of it. It just kind of left me going, okay, there's a possibility here. I think it's going to happen? No, I don't think it's going to happen. But what I do see happening, without a doubt, is a Warcraft 3 and Warcraft Frozen Throne HD remake. What do you
think David, Kim, and Dustin Browder are working on now then?
Well, that's
StarCraft and Heroes.
They're the
RTS people.
That is what is throwing me off here. I personally think that they're working on a remastered version for Warcraft. My soul wants to believe, like Adam at E3, that something special is going to happen, and
actually like
we're going to be
Warcraft
blown
2 more than
away.
Warcraft 3, but yeah.
Pardon me?
I like Warcraft 2 more than Warcraft 3.
Oh,
Like,
I
I
don't.
know everyone's on that Warcraft 3 hype scene,
Yeah.
but Warcraft 2 was the shit for me.
It was a great game, but I never played it like I played 3 and
Ah,
Frozen
yeah.
Throne. But I feel like just from the information that I've been getting and not like a definite, no, dude, it's not going to happen, or RTSs are dying, or not like somebody at Blizzard would ever say that in the first place. But just from the conversation, it just kind of felt like it was a possibility. And I just had that vibe of like, oh, you wait and see, type thing. So I don't know.
I mean, I think it would be crazy if they didn't make it. It's just when is it
When
going
it's
to
gonna
happen
Yeah.
is the thing, right? Like Blizzard doesn't frequently stray far from their current, IPs. They don't just go out and make new stuff, and even which sounds really crazy to say because, we've had Heroes and Hearthstone and Overwatch, but Heroes and Overwatch and Hearthstone were basically happy accidents. Like, it was a Bob Ross painting, and Heroes is basically just Crash Team Racing, but a MOBA edition for Blizzard Heroes. So it's not like they've just dove off the deep end. It just kind of it happened. So it'd be weird for me if it didn't eventually happen. It's just when, and I have to imagine that internally, the challenge for them is, if it's happening sooner rather than later, are we going to just kind of lean on the StarCraft 2 engine to make this happen, or are we going to write a new engine before doing Warcraft
It's
4?
about time for a new engine.
Well, I feel like this could be a topic for like, because we could talk about this for
We
a
could
half
probably
hour,
go to another one.
unless you want to
Yeah.
talk about it for a half hour, because I can go on and on about how I
Yeah.
feel about a possible Warcraft 4.
Yeah.
But
We can do that
in
next
terms of
week. Good
E3,
topic.
obviously we're never, even if it was happening, that is a BlizzCon exclusive by far. There's no way
of course,
we'd
yeah, it's not
ever
going to happen
hear
at
that
E3. No.
on an E3. But yeah, I mean,
But that was, that would be something for sure.
see, now that shit gets me excited,
I wait for the
Adam.
day. Yeah.
Warcraft 4 gets me excited. I mean, that's a game.
Until I hope it's new engine, because I swear to God, if I see that on the StarCraft 2 engine, I will go from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows in less than a second. I'll be on that roller coaster top to bottom. That would crush my soul, because if I have to play another, I know every time I say this, like last time I brought this up, Nathanius, who's he's real into this shit.
Salt
I
King.
said, Nate is like, bro, if I have to see another fucking Blizzard game on this engine, why is StarCraft 2 using like one of my CPU cores, or even at best two? Why is it that I've got 57 threads on this fucking computer and I'm using half of one? And so, like, it defeats the purpose of running StarCraft 2 at max settings, because you get 4 things on screen and your frame rate tanks to like fucking 15 frames a second because the CPU is just dying. So I know it's difficult to sync shit beyond dual core. I appreciate that. Tough fucking balls. Get over it. Make it fucking happen. This is not something that, we're going to want to have for the next 20 years. Is, oh guys, it's just hard. It's hard to do, so we can't really take the risk of doing it. It's going to happen someday. Make it fucking work, so that when people with these new Ryzen and Intel computers with literally 32 threads don't look at their task manager and see fucking StarCraft 3 or Warcraft 4 taking up 2 of the damn fucking 32 threads and having their friggin' beast machine run a game at 4 frames a second. That's all I want to say about that. I could talk about that for like fucking 4 hours. I know that was a tangent, but Warcraft 4 would blow my mind. It's not going to happen because it's at E3. It's not BlizzCon, whatever. I don't have a lot of stuff I'm excited about, but stuff that I'm intrigued about. For example, with Panic, if Panic is saying that Need for Speed went back to like some weird in-between of Underground and Most Wanted, I'm on board
I think
because
in
that
terms
was
of
fun.
storyline and stuff, it's looking
Yeah.
like it's between Most Wanted and that. Gameplay wise, it looks like it's gonna be like a Most Wanted title. But they said they're adding heist missions, so you have to do stuff
All
while
right.
and it looked like a Fast and Furious style mission. So I'm like,
You're losing me a
I'm
little bit on
cautious-
that one, but
Sounds like they're making Fast
cautiously
and
curious.
Furious, dude. It sounds
Yeah,
like
it
they're
sounds
making
like
a
it.
Fast and
Sounds
Furious
like it.
yeah.
with the
But
crew
again, even if that's the
and
case,
story.
even if that's the case, now I'm still interested. I want to see what they're doing with it because that's a
They're
franchise
not getting my
that
money
has
either
had
way.
they've had an
Getting my money.
identity crisis with Need for Speed now for so long that I want to see them finally actually find what it is that they want to do. So that's not something I'm excited about, but something I'm interested in. In a similar vein, Crackdown 3 has been in and out of the news for a long time.
And a sleeper game, like the franchise as a whole.
Absolutely. So I'm down to see what is coming for Crackdown 3. I haven't even played 1 or 2, but because it's such a sleeper, I'm intrigued for sure. Cuphead, the indie game I've been waiting what appears to be my entire life for, might actually come out before I'm an old man.
Is Cuphead?
Cuphead is well, I mean it's not on the list that you have here. Just look it up, dude.
I want you to explain it to the podcast with the name.
Okay. So, Cuphead is basically if you took like 1930s, 40s, whatever, maybe 50s Walt Disney animation, like Steamboat Willie type shit, which might even be further back. I actually don't know. I'm talking to my ass right now. But let's just say Steamboat Willie era because then you know what I'm talking about, right? So we've got that / Popeye type animation and look. That's exactly what it looks like. It looks like you're playing one of those films. It's crazy. Artistically speaking, one of the most intriguing things I've seen in a very long time. Essentially what it is though is a side-scrolling single or I think up to 2 players. I don't think there's more than that. Shooter type deal. I guess I don't think you classify it as a platformer. But that's pretty much what it is, and the players are literally Cupheads, which thus thus the name. But it's not necessarily the gameplay that's got me intrigued. It's just the fact that it looks and sounds the way that it does, and they do it so well that it's super interesting to me. And I want to be able to eventually get my hands on it because it looks so damn good. I'm scared that it's going to come out and as a game suck, but look so good that I'm going to want to get it anyway. I mean, it's not a genre that's particularly hard to do well, so hopefully it doesn't completely blow a tire in the last bit because it has been delayed a few times. Other than that, I'm always down, you know me, I'm always down to see new Forza because I like to see what kind of new car tech they're getting into the games. I like to see how closer and closer to realism they can push driving simulators. That's always fun to me. And Forza Strikes has always struck for me an amazing balance of car simulation and car lovers. It's not necessarily Gran Turismo or Project Cars
Now,
or something where they're looking for hyper realism.
Are they merging in like the Horizon franchise back into motorsport, or are they keeping them on 2 separate paths?
No, those are separate paths. Because what happened was that they realized that
Motorsport's
even
always
Forza,
the more serious one, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So you can in motorsport you can apply so many assists that you're basically playing an arcade game. Like that's what you can do, and they did that obviously so that you didn't feel so intimidated. Maybe you like cars and you want to be able to race, but you're not looking to literally, white knuckle the whole damn race the whole time. You want to be able to just enjoy yourself. So they've been really liberal with the assists that you can turn on. Whereas with Forza Horizon, you can also turn a bunch of stuff off and have a sort of simulation experience, but it's not really all that simulation-y. It's really more about the arcade. In fact, Horizon has essentially replaced for Microsoft the Project Gotham line, which is why Project Gotham doesn't exist at this point anymore. Is they just don't need it. Forza's got such a big name attached to it, and it's an in-house title that they just spun it off in Horizon. And guess what? Horizon, really damn good game. So so they've done well by that. In fact, the latest thing they put out is that Hot Wheels expansion looks fucking awesome. Literally just Hot Wheels tracks in Forza, which is amazing to me. Something else I'm interested in, because it's apparently the cool thing to do these days, remakes. We haven't heard something from this for a long time, but I don't know if you guys even remember this, but they announced that Resident Evil 2 was getting a remake.
Yeah.
Ages ago.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It would be cool, maybe, to see if that's still a thing, and if it is, where it's at in its, production cycle, and what direction they're taking it. Is it going to literally be a facelift Resident Evil 2, or are we going to get Jeff rock hard erection and have it in VR? It's like, what is Resident Evil 2 remake really going to entail? Because I don't think we know all that much about it. I
don't think you understand how good Resident Evil 7 in VR is, bro. I actually, I can honestly say this. People that are listening, if you are okay with VR, you don't get motion sickness and shit like that, it is worth going out and buying a PlayStation 4 with a VR and Resident Evil. Literally spending $600 to $800, depending on where you live, for the experience. It's that fucking good. And it's a full-length game. It isn't some 6-hour side quest. It is a full-length game. The DLC, not so hot, but the game itself, oh my God, it's so fucking good. If I hear Resident Evil 2 remaked in VR, I am so sold, it's ridiculous. Hell, if I even hear, and on top of the things we want to hear, I also want to see with my own eyes and hear some reassurance about Final Fantasy VII. I want to see it. I want to hear it. And I want to be I want to be the judge.
I want to see some gameplay.
I damn right. I want to see gameplay. I want to hear direction. I want to hear this whole episodic shit and how that's going to work. I want to hear a lot about the game. I don't want to see a little, opening clip.
10-second teaser.
Yeah, the first open clip that you see in every Final Fantasy animation and thing where they're overlooking the city and there's the train and fucking Cloud's there and Barrett's big ass is there. I want to actually see some real life shit. Wow me here. You've lost me.
I want to know?
Wow me.
You know what I want to know? If they're going to make Midgar interesting, or if I'm going to want to fucking fork my eyes out again after going through Midgar.
Yeah, it's rough.
Give me a Midgar skip or make it interesting. That's all I'm asking for this 7 remake, because that shit is hot garbage. Going through Midgar every time, it's a nightmare. But yes, I agree. I would love to see that. I was going to talk about that. I don't think it's going to happen. I think at best you're going to get
we'll get that next year.
a CG thing. And hey, remember this is still happening, and then that's going to be pretty much what we're going to see from that. Maybe it does happen. That would be a shock moment for me if I saw gameplay of a remake.
That'd be
great.
I
think that blows people. And you know what? We could talk about a bit, maybe, because it's a popular thing to do just in Microcosm, and this is something that leads into that. What each of the big 3 guys. If there was a winner of E3, because let's be honest, the companies are out to win E3. This is the Super Bowl of commercials for games, right? That's what E3 is. Somebody wins, somebody loses. The M&Ms are usually fucking awesome. Doritos gets a little fucking weird. This is what E3 is. So for Sony, because they don't have new hardware, and even if the new hardware for Microsoft were to suck, a lot of attention is pointed directly at new hardware. And it's not all that frequent that a company is the only one at E3 talking about new hardware that's coming out that year. Usually there's something else in a cycle. So Sony, you would think, is going to want to, if possible, combat that with something. What would that something be? I think that if they manage to coerce Square Enix into showing some gameplay for the 7 remake, that might not be a horrible idea. What do you guys think? Sony, what would you like to see Sony do other than just the Naughty Dog shit?
Sony's going to bring the software. That's all they got, I think, going for it. They have price drops, which everyone's going to be excited about, but they're going to just straight go
I
for the
think-
games. I think they're gonna pimp the shit out of Days Gone, God of War. They're gonna just show their games.
I think what's going to be the winner for Sony, I mean, obviously Final Fantasy VII, showing that and it not looking like it sucks would be amazing. But I think realistically, what's going to be the winner for Sony is Red Dead. I think them coming out, Rockstar coming out and pimping Red Dead is probably going to be the show. I think that's going to be the big one that everybody's going to be talking about. I think that's probably going to get the most headlines is Red Dead Redemption 2.
That's going to be pretty awesome. And the thing about that though is that it's going to show up on. Wait, is there like a timed exclusive for that? I wonder.
I don't know.
Because Rockstar's done that in the past with Sony and stuff. They've flirted with well, most notably, obviously, Grand Theft Auto sat on their consoles for what appeared to be a millennia before it showed up anywhere else. But now it's more about it's going to show up on all the consoles, and then when does it show up on the PC?
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know if they've got that.
I don't know if they're dropping it at the same time or not, but I think Red Dead will be the title of E3. I think that's going to be the one that everyone's going to be talking about a lot. And obviously Naughty Dog, the Last of Us 2 will do really well. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of focus on Xbox One. I don't think we're going to get we'll get some titles like, they'll talk about Red Dead likely and things like that. But I think Sony having Red Dead is gonna be more focused because of all they've got as the IPs, and I think the Scorpio is gonna be the one that's gonna hopefully steal the show by saying, oh, you guys are all excited about that stuff. Well, that's last gen. This is the future here. Pay attention to us, and it's really all about the type of titles and games they're gonna announce for the Scorpio, and obviously the hardware and price points that they're going to be announcing if they announce them. We do know some things obviously, but they'll make it official at E3. And as for Nintendo, I mean, at this point, if Nintendo even says they have a Pokemon game that isn't that isn't an old game, or if they have anything, if Nintendo Switch comes out and says we have a game for the Switch, that will wow me, because they literally have nothing ever. They're not producing any new content from what I'm seeing.
Pokemon Snap.
It's all
Pokemon
just regurgitated.
Stadium.
And it's just all being ported over to the Switch with like a little tiny bonus, and that's the show. So I would love to see. We're gonna get a lot about the Odyssey. I'm excited about that game, so I want to see more about it. I'm on the fence about this whole like in New York type thing or whatever is going on.
That is. Yeah.
But one thing that Nintendo does well is their Mario games. They just do. Galaxy is great. 64 was great. I mean, the Sunshine was good.
Nintendo's conference is only going to be 30 minutes.
Yeah, they have a lot to show.
Maybe they're even going to talk Gen 2. Maybe they're going to talk the second
intro,
gen Switch.
10-minute outro.
I think maybe we'll even see something about a second generation Switch.
It better be 30
Not this
minutes
year,
of
I don't
just
think.
straight trailers stitched together, because 30 minutes is just like
They
you
can't be
said, like
talking.
obviously it's not a 10-minute intro, but like there's an intro and outro, and they do these skit things now at Nintendo for all these announcements. So like how much are they really going to have in this half an hour window is beyond me.
It's gonna be Mario. It's gonna be Mario.
Well, I think a lot of it's got to be right,
Yeah.
because that's the next big thing.
Mario,
showing up
Splatoon,
for
and
them.
Xenoblade. I
Splatoon
think they're
2.
gonna show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I want to see. I'll talk about Nintendo afterwards. I think so. Microsoft is they get a bit of a free pass because they do have the hardware showing up, right? So they're already going to have Spotlight in the first place. But I think as excited as
They're
people are
going
going to get
longer
about the
than usual.
hardware, yeah, they're going longer than usual so that they can show the hardware, and apparently so they can talk about the games, which is their bigger hurdle right now, because the Xbox is.
I don't have games.
There's
There's
it's not necessarily they don't have games. They don't have
Wasteland.
exclusives.
No exclusives. Yeah.
They have no exclusives, and the unfortunate part for them is that is that in a world where there was parity or closer parity, like back with PS3, Xbox 360, as far as how games run and look, there's a pretty big gap between the Xbox and the PlayStation 4, especially if you take the Pro into consideration. And so even games that are on both consoles, you know, Xbox can only lean on Xbox Live for so long. You know, PlayStation's improving their online capabilities and they're playing catch up, but Xbox in this generation has given them almost free reign for 3 straight years now of just nothing coming at them, and it continues. So as nice as it is to see Xbox coming out and parading their new console, I think what people need to see now is not just games; they need exclusives.
They've been dropping the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just flat out need exclusives. There's nothing else. Like I'm looking forward to seeing the console, but I'm not going to buy the fucking console if they're going to sit there and just show me the games that are going to be on the PS4 because I have a Pro sitting right here. So like I need to see Microsoft make an effort for some exclusives.
I actually don't even think we're going to see any exclusives, and normally I would be right on the right with you, and I do agree that they are hurting for exclusives. There's very few out there for Xbox or for Microsoft. I think that this E3 is a special one for them because they don't have to have exclusives. The hardware is going to do the selling. The hardware, it doesn't matter as long as they put a couple of those big name brands behind their new hardware, it's going to sell. The exclusives will be nice for a niche market like us that, you know, aren't rushing out to get the newest thing for the sake of getting the newest thing, because we have plenty of stuff that we can play that we're happy with playing, along with most people. But there is this mystique of having a new console. I mean, look at the Switch, for Christ's sake. They had nothing. They had Zelda. That's the show. And it's sold like crazy. And you can't even buy one right now. The Scorpio will probably be the same. All they need to do is come out with a couple of good titles that are going to hook people in, and it's going to get sold. That simple. I would love to. That would just be a bonus if we got some new IPs or some exclusives, even if it's an old IP that is coming back exclusively to Xbox. That would be suffice as well. But I think it's just going to be the hardware. It's going to be the hardware push, and I think that's the best thing for them to do, and just not fuck it up like they did with the Xbox One.
No. What do you think, Panic?
I need to see the games. I'm in your camp. Jeff's right in that the hardware is going to give them a huge bump, but I'm just trying to think of franchises. I don't see, other than Halo and like Gears, they don't have any like super exclusive franchises. They
killed Scalebound.
Yeah. What about like Fable or something?
In and around. Yeah.
Fable's dead because Lionhead they shut down.
Yep. What about, it could be mind blowing if we see Final Fantasy VII on the Xbox presser.
Oh.
They've been releasing Final Fantasies on multiple
that would be savage.
A couple of years now.
Came out savage.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not obviously it's likely too, because this is such an expensive project. It's not going to be forever only on the PlayStation. It's either that or Sony literally would spend a fortune locking that down. But that would be fun for sure. It's not necessarily that. If this was let's say that this was like going from if the Xbox One, I'm trying to put it this way. The reason why I think the games are important right now, if the Xbox One had really any traction as far as games go, and it had basically none for a whole host of reasons, then maybe, Scorpio being there by itself with all the spotlight it's going to get would be enough for people. But Microsoft this Scorpio thing is kind of like they have to win people back like hard with this, because they lost out. They
need
big
the games
time
for that though,
and they need games to make that happen.
I don't actually think they need to work too hard though. I think.
Well, here's the thing, Jeff. The reason I disagree with what you were saying earlier, and probably what you're about to say, is the Xbox One came out and they had a lot of like features and stuff that didn't quite get used. The hardware came out and the games didn't really follow. So they already on the back foot on that. Yeah, if they come out with a new the hardware for Scorpio looks really good, but if it plays the same or even slightly better than Sony, I don't think that's going to give Microsoft the win that they need. They need to have like something epic. They need their like Last of Us. They need their something to sell the Scorpio box with that game. They need the Breath of the Wild for it.
I think what happened is with the whole presser of Xbox One lying or being confused about the cross,
I wouldn't even say lying.
the whole using PlayStation 3 games on the Xbox and not being able to share shit, and the prices were all fucked and everything was, and then they backtracked all kinds of shit and they came out and they apologized about shit and it was just an absolute mess. I think that is where they had fallen flat. The games just added to that hole that they dug.
So
you were like, fuck this.
Experience.
Like, I can honestly say I have never owned an Xbox One. This is the first time that I have not owned a console since like Sega CD. I have owned every single console imaginable. And especially in my adult life where I'm paying for it of my own money. The PlayStation 1, the PS2, the Xbox, the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, the fucking Switch. I've got it all. I never owned an Xbox One. Mainly because
came out?
I got pissed. One sec. I got pissed at Xbox because of all the stupid shit they were pulling. And I was an Xbox fanboy. I always associated Sony with sports games and RPGs. And I hadn't gotten any really good RPGs in a while. So I was already looking forward to my Xbox. It was when all that shit went down and it was garbage and it was a mess. And I said, that's it. I'm done. And then when the games never came on top of that, they never gave me they were hard to get my money. I think with a lot of other people. I think with the Scorpio is everybody's kind of had that forgiven. I think a lot of people have forgotten about how shitty things were. Obviously, the Xbox One didn't build up to what it should have been. It sold really poorly in comparison to the PS4, and just in general, it just didn't do that well.
Yep.
And I think that people are now back on board with a new console, and it's almost like I keep going back to movie analogies because it's what I know, but it's like bad sequels that happened and an old director comes back and it's back to the right hands and people are just going to forget. It's like the Star Wars prequels.
They'll let it go.
You just let it go and just come out with something fresh and take my money again. The only way that I think they're not going to get that money is if they come out and they butcher this. The hardware isn't as good as what people thought it would be. The games are bad or just doesn't excite people. I think if they just do a good job, it's going to sell really well and they're going to win an E3. I don't even think they need to do an excellent job. I just think they need to do a passing grade. And if they go excellent, it's going to be like, oh my God, it's going to be like Jesus parting the seas, and that'll be the show. But I think if they go in, they just do a good job, everyone will be happy, and they'll sure as hell get my money.
I like rage sold all of my Xbox stuff. Like not even just my Xbox One. Like when the Pro came out, I literally like within a couple of days, 'cause I saw the games that were coming out. I like went, hacked up my Xbox One, hacked up my 360 Elite, hacked up all my games for both of those consoles.
Done.
And I walked it over to GameStop and I'm like, yo, they had a promo going on. I got like a ton of store credit. I paid $100 for my PS4 Pro, Final Fantasy 15, Bloodborne, Uncharted Collection, Last of Us, and Horizon Zero Dawn. All set, good to go.
Yeah, that's you know what else is good to go. Apparently Moses parted the sea and Jesus did not. So that just goes to show my religious.
Jesus might have parted his hair a couple of times, but he sure as shit didn't part the
sea. Okay, walked on water or some shit. He walked on water, right?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
there you go.
Phil Spencer's gonna come out and announce some crazy shit, and he's gonna look like he's walking on water.
I was just giving some alternative facts, man. That's all that was.
Yeah, exactly. Fake news. You're not wrong. Like when. And like both of you described exactly the life of Xbox and the brand and what they're fighting right now. if you looked up the sales numbers right now, I think Xbox is losing exponentially to PlayStation 4.
bad.
It's not even close. It's like really bad. When Xbox first came out and they had my favorite guy to chirp on, Don Matrick, probably the worst CEO in the history of CEOs. When they gave him control of the division, and his grandiose plan was to make this an NFL box.
Oh,
it hurt my soul on levels. Because I just remember the E3 where almost 50% of the presser was a long form video of Don Matrick sitting next to, like, it wasn't John Madden, it was some other fucking NFL guy talking about how I was going to be able to, if I lived in the continental US of A and not anywhere else in the world, watch NFL football and have all this shit work, and then plug my set-top box into the back through that port and be able to, like, use the Xbox as my set-top box, and it would never turn off, and people were sitting in the crowd just like, but the games. But the games, what about the games? And they just kept spitting out services, It was services and services. And even he said, we called it the Xbox One because we want it to be the one machine in your room that does everything. And people were like, yeah, but we just want to play fucking video games. What are you talking about all this, like, extracurricular bullshit?
I got an Android box, motherfucker. Games? I don't need
play games.
Oh, my Lord. Absolutely terrible.
We forgot about the games.
So, yeah, sorry, guys. Oops. Here's a Kinect. And then they made the stupid thing where they bundle the Kinect with every Xbox, which drove the price through the fucking roof for no reason, and it had no games.
Forced people to buy that shit. Nobody ever used it. It's dumb. Your fucking mother on a Wii Fit board uses that shit, and they can't even figure out how it's used. It's so ridiculous,
motherfuckers broke into my house last year and stole my Xbox One. You know what I still have? My fucking Kinect.
They left the Kinect.
Oh shit!
Just to give you an idea of how
just like salt in the wound.
Yo! It went something like this. All right, one sec. Yeah. Yo! Check the door. Lock the fucking door. Check the door. Yo, where's the camera goods? Yo, grab that shit. Get that Xbox, man. Fuck, get that Xbox. Go. Yo, what the fuck is that? Yo, that's the Kinect. Oh, fuck that shit, man. Fuck.
Leave it.
That's exactly.
Take it out.
Fuck that shit.
We're gonna lose money.
Pawn shop won't even take that.
They won't even take that shit. I bet you if you walk into pawn shops, they've got like 50 fucking Kinects out back that they've never been able to pawn off on anybody. Guaranteed. They left that shit behind. That's how bad the Kinect is.
Dude, those things are literally like Wii Fit boards. Like when I go to yard sales and I see a Wii Fit board, I want to punch somebody in the throat. I'm like, yo, how much is this stuff? Like, yeah, I'm thinking like, how many games is there? 10? Yeah, let's do $3 a game. And yo, that board right there, it goes to the Wii Fit. Yeah, I know. Yeah, $25 on the board. And I want to pick it up and I want to smash them across the face with it. And it weighs a fucking ton. The thing is so I don't even bring them home, dude. I don't bring them home. I swear, one time I bought a Wii U bundle. No fucking joke. I bought a Wii U bundle. I went to Subway to get lunch, and I'm sitting in the truck just eating my Subway shit, and I usually listen to like some YouTube videos and stuff and use the Wi-Fi there. And I'm looking back at all the stuff I got, and there's a Wii Fit board. I legitimately took it out the backseat of my truck and threw it in the dumpster at Subway. I didn't even take it home with me. I didn't even take it home. I don't want it.
Not even worth.
I don't want it ever.
Burn gas.
That's the Kinect,
carry
bro.
That thing around. That is the Kinect.
That's the
terrible.
Kinect.
I'm waiting for like 10 years from now when Jeff's looking at like retro game prices and it's like Wii Fit board, $2,000.
Oh, I would die, dude, because I've given up so many of those Wii Fit boards, man. I've given up so many of them.
So that was, you know, Xbox had a really bad start. It was horrible, and it wasn't going to get any better. Then eventually they finally decided, you know what, Don Matrick,
got their feet.
Pretty shit. We need to get rid of you. And so they did. And they replaced him with Phil Spencer, who actually has some idea of what he's doing, because the first thing he did when he got in was remove the Kinect from being bundled with every fucking Xbox, and immediately everybody started golf clapping in the background because that was a very difficult thing to do. And you didn't hear about NFL TV anymore. You didn't hear about these endless services anymore. You just heard about Phil would come out and say, we need to do games. Now, unfortunately, they didn't quite get there.
Get the games.
They got some, but the idea was right. It was, we need to make this a video game console again and not whatever the fuck it started out to be. So, bless Phil Spencer for trying. He did a hell of a lot better than Don did, but I think it will be a much different approach this time. You're going to see them parade this thing out. You might hear about how it does 4K Netflix with HDR and that kind of shit, but you're not going to hear about a lot of the other stuff. The services you'll hear about will be things like their new Netflix-style service where you can download games and play them after you pay like a certain amount of money a month for Xbox games, things like that. But you're not going to hear all this fluffy shit, and then you're going to get a lot of games. You're going to get a lot of tech talk for a while, but they've extended this thing past 90 minutes so that they can talk about games. So if there is a chance of us getting surprised by something, I think the conference that happens is Microsoft's. The odds of us getting surprised probably lie within Microsoft's. Yeah, and I don't, I would like to want to own an Xbox again. That would be kind of cool. Because I just don't give a fuck about Xbox right now at all. I don't think anybody does.
No.
So it would be nice to be able to again. And I'd love to see some good head-to-head competition because it has been the Sony show for 3 years now, and it's not even been close. It's not even been if this was like a hurdle race, fucking Xbox hit the first 3 hurdles and face planted every single time and never actually finished. They just blew a tire and never got back up. So. It would be nice to see. Nintendo, on the other hand, 30-minute, no idea what the hell they're going to do. Not a clue.
Apparently down 25 minutes now.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out.
We've shortened it. We've shortened it to 25 minutes. Okay. Things I would like to see Nintendo pull out, like Jeff said, Pokemon that's not from forever ago. I don't understand. Maybe they're trying not to cannibalize 3DS, and now that they're doing this 2DS XL stuff. Maybe that's the reasoning, but I other than that, I don't know why they wouldn't bring some of that stuff to the Switch. It sure as shit wouldn't hurt the Switch. That's for sure. But I think we're going to see a lot of Mario and Splatoon. It's probably the majority of that. I don't think we're going to get any surprises at Nintendo. If we do, great, but I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. Am I getting a message from one of you boys? Because I won't be able to see that. Otherwise, we're going to mess up everything on the stream right now.
I think it's time to move it on, boys.
Yeah, let's continue. We still got some other stuff to do. So.
We were wrapping it up with that Nintendo piece.
Yeah. We'll. We're going to be talking about E3 again. So.
Oh yeah.
Going to be a
lot
more
E3 stuff will happen. But yeah, with that we can move on. I guess. As far as non-E3 content goes, there hasn't been a huge amount of movie-related stuff happen in the last week. The Mummy came out, and it sucks.
well, no, I'm not. Hey,
it's you don't 17% on Rotten Tomato or tomatoes.
Did you say tomatoes? You just see.
I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually hearing it's okay from reputable critics. The problem is if you look up the majority of Tom Cruise movies, they are a hit or a miss in terms of on. It's still going to make Tomatoes.
A lot of money.
Yeah, it's going to be it's going to do well. Apparently, it's serviceable. They're doing a monster universe type thing. So there's other. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's other IPs in this movie.
Yeah.
So they're trying to do kind of like the DCU and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're trying to do
the Dark Universe or something like that. I think they were calling it.
Yeah, they're trying, and I'm hearing that there's promise, but obviously it's not a groundbreaking movie. It's a lot of the same stuff. I mean, you could see it from the trailer. We've got a mummy that is in a sandstorm. And you see the big mummy head coming at them, and it's going to be Tom Cruise running, from things and on CGI screens and stuff, which I hear is really fun. Apparently, all the action, and there's a lot of action. Apparently, it's just really, really good, but it's just a lot of senseless action. It's apparently really good for an IMAX experience if you're going in, you want to have some fun. So I'm going to be the judge. I'm going to go see that on Sunday. So I'll let you guys know by next week. But there hasn't been a lot of movie related stuff because Wonder Woman has been dominating again. Still holding 93% Rotten Tomatoes, which is an absolute insanity. Oh, if you haven't seen it, dude, you need to run out and see it. It's on.
I was supposed to go see it yesterday. I got stuck at work, so I'm trying to figure out a time slot, just go watch it.
Yeah, the movie's making a killing. It's critically acclaimed, and people were almost rooting against DC. We talked about it a little bit last week, but it's still tracking really well. I think that the Wonder Woman is still going to come out on top this week as well, and this weekend in terms of movie sales. I think The Mummy will do really well. It'll probably still do 40 million, 50 million. I still think Wonder Woman, it's only going to see maybe a 40% drop from last week. The word of mouth is so strong, and it's not only the word of mouth, it's the rewatchability of it. It's the first movie that I've seen in theater for a long time that I plan on going back to the theater and watching it a second time. It's really that good. I cannot say enough good things about it. It's just amazing. So if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. But beyond that, there's not a lot happening in movie-related stuff because Wonder Woman's just crushing it. So, and for obvious reasons, like the movie studios
completely deserves it.
They know that movies like this, they're gonna take the shine for 2 weeks. So they don't really release a whole lot. Obviously, yeah. So the mummy, obviously, it's got Tom Cruise behind it, so they can kind of go up against it in a way. But the Mummy would never have gotten released last week with the Wonder Woman. At least now it's even still got a chance to beat Wonder Woman for weekend box office, but I don't think it's going to happen, especially with that 17% Rotten Tomatoes that it is getting. But I think the people that want to go see the Mummy, that isn't going to change what they think. Tom Cruise sells tickets, and it's the Mummy too. So we'll see. But that's pretty much it for movie related stuff. Not a lot going on.
Yeah. No, I just saw I didn't think when we talked about the Mummy back when we were talking about movies that were going to be released, and I was I made the comment about if it doesn't have Brendan Fraser, I'm not interested in it.
Yeah.
And so I'm not gonna lie, I tweeted about this earlier today. I was like, I got a little warm in the heart watching the 17% on Rotten Tomatoes, because I was just like, oh, this is like vindication for Brendan Fraser. So I know it sounds silly, and Brendan Fraser's not some sort of acting god, but he really did do a fucking good job of the Mummy movies back in '99 and what was it, 2001, I think, were the two before. Oh yeah. The last one.
The thing is, Adam, he will never sell a Mummy movie now. Back then,
I understand.
Those movies were like a different feel, different everything, right?
I understand 100% why he is not in this, but at the same time, it felt good. I also just have a soft spot for Brendan because his ex-wife is literally reaming him to no end. He has like $50,000 a month in alimony for a guy that obviously doesn't exactly work a whole lot.
How does he even have that much money?
He doesn't. And it's because they separated when he was still at the height of his career, and the judge awarded some stupid, crazy fucking percentage. It was nuts. And around that time, he just disappeared. I don't blame him. I'd be cripplingly depressed too if they fucking were telling me I had to make up $50,000 a month to give to my ex-wife because I was doing well in movies at the time. Like that is heinous. So
he's got a net worth of $25 million, and he makes a little over $3 million a year doing whatever. So, but apparently, what I'm reading here is he was in the red $87,000 a month when she started sucking the life out of him.
Yeah.
Ay. Note everybody listening. Prenup. All right, people that are listening, look at Brendan Fraser and get a goddamn prenup. All right, because if you plan on being something special and you're gonna make that crazy money, don't be a Brendan Fraser, because that guy literally got drained. She's like a fucking vampire. She don't even look good.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
like a fucking blood-sucking, money-sucking, probably screwing some other rich twat and sucking Brendan Fraser's $50K out a month, and he had to leave Hollywood.
That absolutely
That's
crazy.
just-
Like, how
that's
is there
insane.
how is there not an adjustment period for something of that magnitude? Like
There is,
after X many.
alimony agreements have time frames.
Oh, really? Because
Yeah,
I'm
depending
sitting here
on the whole
going,
setup.
how can you apply $50,000 a month to a motherfucker for that
Well, it wouldn't
long?
be for
Like,
it wouldn't be for life, but yeah, it would definitely be for a while.
He's been getting wrecked by
Yeah.
that. He just went away, like, it's brutal. But he's getting more parts. It's hilarious because the internet kind of rallied around Brendan,
Yeah.
like, in the last 9 months. And all of a sudden, he legit, like, out of nowhere, Brendan's starting to get these fucking roles and stuff. Most notably, he's on a TV show with a couple of, like, Academy Award winning sons of bitches right now. What's the name of it? It's a crime, it's like a true crime type deal. Based on a true story, in like the 70s, about an oil baron or something along those lines. He got kidnapped. Fuck, what's the name of it?
I don't know.
Trust.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
And he's like the lead motherfucker in that.
Yeah, he's
Bad
doing
Boys, so-
he's doing a lot of TV here. He's got no
Yeah.
movies on the go. There's one
Yeah,
movie behind
one.
the curtain of the night. I don't
It's
even
being
know
filmed
what
in
the fuck that
Toronto,
is.
I think.
Okay, well that tells you where his career's at there.
Well,
looks
exactly.
Like,
I don't really care. I always thought the guy just seemed like a really nice dude, and watching him get completely fucking destroyed, and going
Yeah,
from
it's-
being the happy guy that you saw back in the day to basically, when you saw interviews of him in the last few years, it literally looked like I was watching somebody who wanted to be dead. Like everything that came out of his
being drained,
mouth.
bro. Can you imagine
Yeah.
every 30 days, $50K coming out of your bank account
Oh, God.
to a woman that you haven't boned in years?
God.
Oh my God.
All right, so yeah. Anyway, that's enough
Ah.
about Brendan Fraser's life. Hopefully, we'll see some kind
I
of
want to give him
comeback.
a hug.
Yeah.
I just want to hug Brendan Fraser.
Now
so,
I'm rooting for the mummy to suck.
I know. I fuck the mummy. I guess that's it for the movie stuff. I did want to talk about the movie stuff. I remembered because I just now for the first time watched or started seeing advertisements for Baby Driver,
Yeah,
which
looks good,
Panic
huh?
had mentioned.
Yeah.
Back when we talked
Getting
about that.
really good reviews too.
And
Really
I'm watching
good
I
reviews.
watched that trailer on TV and I was like, oh shit, this looks dope.
Yeah, it's got
I'm gonna have
really
to
good
see
reviews.
that.
Yeah, it looks
I'm gonna
great.
have to see that. There's so
that
many
might be a
people in
sleeper
that
hit.
movie.
Oh yeah.
Like what the hell?
Yeah.
It's
So
one
like I
of those
was
ensemble
surprised
cast
it was.
movies, but it just looks like
Yeah.
super stylistically well done.
Yep.
It does. It looks awesome. I'm gonna have to go and see that now for sure. But yeah, other than that, I don't think I had anything else movie wise. Is there what's the next big thing to hit, Jeff? What's our next? next
The next
thing.
like mega
Spider-Man?
movie. Yeah, Spider-Man.
Just something
Spider-Man.
notable. Spider-Man. Oh, okay.
Spider-Man. Yeah.
Is that this month?
Mm,
Or is that all the way into July?
Soon. It's like
Is that July? Isn't it?
it might be first week July.
Yeah, I think it's like July 3rd, maybe. I actually don't know. Could be talking to my ass, but
July
I don't-
3rd is a Monday. Yeah.
Okay, well then it might be the very end of June.
Mm,
I don't know. I'll look it up.
okay.
Spider-Man,
coming up.
Homecoming.
Homecoming.
July 7th. There you go. So it is the first.
Oh, okay, so it's right
Okay.
after, yeah.
July 7th.
Is that like
And
a
I'll
Friday?
I'll be in Vegas.
Or something?
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah,
July
Friday.
3rd is the 3rd and 4th is Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The least
Yeah, I look
productive
forward to it.
least productive week at work.
Maybe it
Oh.
will be an actual good Spider-Man movie, and they won't have to keep rebooting Spider-Man until
they're
we're
always gonna
all
keep rebooting
retired. It's like they've been trying to find something that sticks with Spider-Man for the longest time, and they just keep doing it, and nothing ever quite makes it. So it'd be fun to see if that actually turns out to be something. Technical alpha. Moving on to technical support. Let's talk about technical support. What do we got this week, boys? Has anybody looked at the questions for this week?
Yes, I have.
Of course.
Yeah, I already have
looking
it
right
up.
now.
I'm prepared.
You are
Always
prepared? All right. I can actually
All right.
change.
What do you got, Panic?
All right. I'm gonna go with Xavier Page. He is one
sick
of
name.
our. Don't let me do that. Is it
$10, $10 supporter.
He is one of our $10 Patreons. His question is, how much of your gaming libraries have you finished/beaten? How completionist are you? 100% did everything, got everything, have the final achievement?
Oh.
Well, I'll start because I'm easy.
Yeah.
I have probably completed
1%.
less than 1% of my library. You know what? There will come a day, honestly, there will come a day where I will no longer have to play games for money. And when that time comes, or I'll have the freedom to not have to worry about
And then you'll have
playing
children.
specific games. Of course, I'll have children. I actually think I'm going to have kids sooner than later. But
oh God, Technical
think,
Alpha exclusive. Jeff's life's coming to an end.
no, you know what? I have some. I've this is off topic, but and I won't get in too deep into it. But I have some personal life goals that I'm able to accomplish here in the next 60 days.
Of course.
And so when those things happen, I always told myself when I have a certain amount of freedom and I have accomplished certain things in life, then that's when I will entertain children. Most people, when they look and they're like, "Hey Jeff, you're 30, you should have kids." All my friends have kids besides you.
Yeah.
But the majority of my friends have kids, and I see a lot of them struggle, a lot of them worry. Not saying that they don't live a good life or anything like that, but I always wanted to have the not only the financial freedom, but the freedom of being able to still live my life the way I want to and not have to sacrifice things and be resentful of the fact that I'm having a kid and they're getting in the way of my long-term goals. I'm a firm believer of having kids when you're ready and not at a certain age. You know what I mean?
Before,
yeah, obviously for a woman, you want to kind of have kids before 30 because then there's complications. And even still, I mean, you can still risk it and stuff. And people have kids at 40. You know, it is what it is. But, in terms of, for me and my wife, we're still relatively young. My wife's 3 years younger than me. So, we have plenty of time. And when I say I brought up kids, it doesn't mean like I'm going to tell, I'm going to say, Kayla, like, let's go, let's go have some kids like fucking 2 months from now. But the idea is starting to...
You'll entertain it.
The idea is starting to come. So I wouldn't be surprised, the exclusive, I wouldn't be surprised that probably by like mid to late 2018, you'll probably hear me talking about kids a lot more. You never know. You never know. I'm almost at that, and hopefully Kayla's not upstairs like listening to this conversation because I never even...
Are you taking your kids to Vegas for Celine Dion?
Oh, I just might. But to get back to bring it back full circle about the question,
yes, the game.
because I went on a tangent. When the freedom happens where I don't have to necessarily, stream a specific game or two for 70 hours a week. I mean, I don't have to do it now, to be honest with you, but I choose to because I enjoy doing it. But I think when I go down to more of a regular working lifestyle, and it isn't always about making a living, trying to grow, trying to maintain, try to stay relevant, trying to constantly reinventing myself, and then I have that freedom of being able to just do what I want when I want to, and then still make good enough money that I don't have to worry. That is when I'm really going to start to sit down and get back into playing games for the sake of playing games, and making it not feel so much like a job. And if I'm streaming and I want to play Secret of Mana like you are, I don't have that in the back of my mind like, oh shit, only 200 people want to watch me play Secret of Mana. Some twat came in here and says play RuneScape or I unfollow. Those sort of things. I get to the point where I just won't give a fuck. Where I'm just like, you know what, man, this is I've been doing this for 7-8 years now. There comes a time where you just got to kind of know your time, has come and passed, and it'll be more of just enjoying games. And of course, I'll probably always have the fellowship and the podcast and all those sort of things, but just not that stress. And you know what I'm talking about, Adam. It's that.
Yeah, I get you.
That's when I'm going to become a gamer again. That's when I'm going to become that thing that I talked about earlier in the podcast. That's when I'll be able to put in a game and just enjoy it for it being that, and not as work, not having all these underlining things. So until that happens, that my percentage is going to get lower and lower and lower. You know, because I
ignored that wall.
Yeah,
because that's pretty new. You collecting retro, I think it's
Let's talk about
unfair
Steam.
for a retro. Yeah, something like that. I think it's unfair for a retro collector looking at a wall of a few hundred games to be like, okay, how many of those have you played? So ignoring your retro collection, how have you been for getting games and completing them and so on and so forth?
It's almost never. Completion being a completionist to me is like. It's a curse, because to complete games, there's very few games out there, especially nowadays, because a lot of games have this mentality of doing artificial gameplay and stretching games out longer than what they need to be. So they'll go and scatter 150 secret chests all over the game that are virtually impossible to find unless you look them up, or you sit around for hours and just search to see another number tick up on the top right of a screen. That to me is just not fun. The last game that I actually played to completion that was kind of tedious and long, and I do it every time I play it, is Mario 64. When I play Mario 64, I play it till completion, and that means 100 coins per level, all the stars, everything, getting it all done. That is like my completionist game. I cannot put in Mario 64 and not do a full completion of the game. So for me, I just like to play the main story, and depending on how much I'm enjoying it, I'll either rush through the entire story. Like it took me, I think when you got me into Fallout 3, I beat that in 13 hours. I beat that in one sitting. Like we were on Xbox Live.
You accidentally
did
like
the
went
full
ahead and did the game not knowing you were about to end it, and then did.
I had no idea. Yeah. So that just goes to show. Like for me, it doesn't matter as long as I see those end credits. I feel as though I beat the game. It just all depends on how good the game is. But I'm not a completionist.
What about you, Panic?
I'm not a super completionist, so I'll usually, if I get into the game, I will play it through to the finish, maybe do a second playthrough. I pulled up the stats on my Steam account. I have 41% of my games not played. Of my 300 and something odd games, I have played only 51 of them more than 12 hours. That being said, my average play time is 15 hours per game.
Oh, that's pretty good. Better than most people, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, for me, gaming, I work full time. I do a bunch of other things. So for me, I'm not the type of person that will pick a game and just hammer at it. If I give a game more than 30 hours, it's a good game in my book. I'm constantly looking for, I love story games, so I'll play through them and just kind of move through pretty quickly. So a little bit of a different mindset.
I changed how I tackle games over time. So when I was younger and I played games and I wasn't able to afford to just go out and buy, Steam sales didn't exist at the time, and you couldn't buy 15 games for $5.63. Because I had a limited set, including if you rent a game, right? And rentals were even more of a driver for that, because you only had 5 to 7 days before you had to take it back. So you just crushed as much of that game as you could into those 5 to 7 days, unless you just absolutely hated it. But when I bought a game, I put a lot into getting as much out of it as I could. So I was pretty big into completionism and getting as much out of it as I could. But that was because my library wasn't huge. If I had a big library and I didn't necessarily, if I wasn't looking, or if I was looking for something that was different than what I had in front of me, then I would have probably done that. But I didn't have that luxury, so I would just go and and complete games. Then when the Xbox 360 came around and they introduced achievements, it took that and it gave me a tracker for how well I was finishing these games. And then I went full bore into just getting as much out of my games as I could. I wasn't big on I had to have every achievement in a game, but I would get as many of them as I could within reason. And I had some stupid high gamer score at some point before I gave up that dream and just stopped chasing it. But at that time, when I stopped chasing that, was around the time where I was on the computer. And games were way easier to get your hands on good prices, and the library got bigger and bigger, and the backlog got longer and longer, and then it was more about, am I really enjoying this game? And if I did, then I'd put more time into it. But it's been a long time, I think the same as Jeff was saying, since I've actually sat down and said, I want to fucking 100% this entire game. I need to get everything this game has to offer. The last time I did that was Persona 4, and that was in 2008 or 9. So it's been almost 10 years since I've last wanted to do something like that. There have been games that have come close, like the first Mirror's Edge. I was pretty into, and I wanted to. I considered it for a time, going and looking for all the briefcase, drop off things. And there have been other games that have also come close to the Mass Effect franchise. I was always big on getting as many of my side quests with the characters and learning as much about the characters I could, and draining that as best I could. But there's not really been that many, and so I don't do that as frequently. But I try and make a point now recently. So the Myst stuff, for example, and now the Secret of Mana thing and whatnot. I'm trying to force myself to actually finish games that I'm playing, because I'm finding myself in a nasty habit where I have a shitload of games, and because I have a shitload of games, I am intentionally just dropping games midway through and not completing them.
Yep. You're not actually finishing them.
So I'm trying to stop that habit and honest to goodness saying, okay, unless this game is really, truly making me want to kill myself, I need to actually finish this game. So that's kind of the mindset I'm trying to give myself. And I think a lot of people could probably benefit from that, because Steam is making it real hard for people to want to stick to a game.
I've set myself up on Steam mentally that I will not buy a game until I finish one of the games on my Steam list that I have not played.
That's good. This is similar. That's good.
So I'm like, you know what? I'll pick up. So if there's a game I haven't played or that I really want to do, I'm like, all right, let me finish some other game that I've been meaning to do. Because I have so many things. I'm just like, oh my god. I keep buying games, and I'm like, I need to actually play these games.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, that's good, and I think that's. That is I think a problem that people are starting to have now with the Steam sales and G2A and all these places. You get so many games for so little money, and they're just not completing. They're just not completing the games, which is a bit unfortunate. So that's it's like my New Year's resolution: start beating the damn games that you're buying, for God's sake. Don't just put them in a corner somewhere. But yeah. So what's our next question? What do we got, Mr. Black?
Well, what do you guys want to go with? You guys want to go with serious or not so serious?
We got a bit serious today.
Oh, yeah.
Say what?
With our jadedness.
I think he said not so serious.
All right. Who are your free three? The three famous people you'd sleep with no repercussions.
Oh, God. Oh, this kind of shit get me in trouble.
No repercussions.
Yeah, you don't have any repercussions. You're safe.
Everyone.
I take no prisoners. Everyone. It doesn't matter. I don't know. I don't know if I have three. I'd probably struggle to come up with three.
How do you not have three, man?
I just don't think about it so frequently to immediately say that.
What about you, Panic?
I mean, ScarJo's on everyone's list.
Not mine.
ScarJo?
Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, Scarlett Johansson. Okay. Yeah, she's not on my list. Not on my
Who
list.
else? Trying to think who else. Yeah, I haven't
Oh.
thought about it that much.
Oh, you guys are just hurting me.
Jeff's probably got like a 50
I haven't
fucking
needed
person long list.
About it.
Well, I don't have a 50 long person list. All right, I'm gonna start off.
49.
I'm gonna start off with my number. I'm gonna start off with my number 2.
Oh, you even have
Let
an
me go.
order. I mean, I know who your
Yeah.
number 1 is. I'm almost positive.
No,
'cause
you
we hear
don't.
about it all the time.
No, you don't.
No,
No, you don't.
Has it changed?
No, you don't. It's changed. Ah!
Oh no!
Huh. Number 2, Rachel
Wonder
Bilson.
Rachel
Number
Bilson.
2 is Rachel Bilson.
That was the old
if you
number
guys don't know,
1. Okay.
That's the old number 1. If you guys
That's
don't know
the
who
old
she
number
is,
1.
she's the old summer chick from the OC. Super hot. The girl next door.
California!
Super relatable. She is literally my kryptonite. The wife knows it. I know it. The reason why she's gone down a peg is because I have found a new love, and I'm not going to give it yet. But Rachel
Okay.
Bilson, number 2 for a couple reasons. Number 1, I haven't seen her in a while. And number 2,
Okay.
she's married and has kids to Hayden Christensen, which just automatically puts you down one
That's-
ring. I should put her on number 3 for that, but I'm going to let it
Yeah.
slide. So number 2, you
Yeah.
have
He'll
number
let
2.
slide.
I'd still
Props
hit it,
to
but
Hayden-
number 2.
Props to Hayden for grabbing that.
Straight up. Straight up. All right. Got to
You
give
know
you
he
one,
loves
Adam.
her because he loves her because he can't act. Got him.
Got him.
I'll give you my number 3 if we're gonna play this back and forth. So I'll give you my
Yeah,
number
all
3.
right.
My number 3. Actually, I have 2. I know for sure. A third, I actually just don't know. So I'm for all
just
I
gonna
know,
give me
this
2?
could be number 2. So maybe this is number 2. Olivia Wilde is my number 2.
Ooh, yeah, she'd definitely top that.
Damn,
list.
yeah,
Good one.
she's
She
She's
speaks
got
to me
that-
on a
she's-
number of levels.
yeah, she's like that exotic look too. It's just something different about
She's-
her.
The jaw gets me. The
The
eyes
jaw,
are fucking
yeah.
11 out of 10, and she's actually incredibly intelligent, which is a dangerous combination. So
You know how many people right now
That's-
are on their computers like just looking
Looking
up
up
the,
Olivia
the
Wilde.
females that we're saying right now?
yeah,
They're all doing it.
yeah.
Gonna go with this one's kind of one out of left field. Kristen Kruk.
Who? Kristen?
Who the
Kruk?
fuck?
Kristen, you guys don't know from Smallville, Lana Lang.
No, I don't know.
Nope, nothing. Drawing blanks.
Put it in. I put it in chat.
Kristen Kruk. Let me see.
Who would be my number 3? I'm so fucking like, who would that be right now?
Kristen Kruk. Okay, I think this might be the chick you're talking about. Oh, you put it in the chat, did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind. This is a totally different girl. Let me see. Let me be a judge of your taste here. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It looks like she's got a little. It looks like she's got like a little Asian in her. Like just a little, just a hint. It's either that or like a hint of black.
She's half. Like
Is she
mixed.
have?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she's cute. She definitely ain't making my top 3, but she cute. That's for sure. She got that girl next door look that I go for. All right, so I have to put her in here now. At number 3, I'm gonna have to go with Wonder Woman herself.
I knew it. I knew it. After last
have
week,
to-
you were basically sucking her non-existent D the whole freaking time.
Yeah, I gotta put Gal Gadot. That's how you. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce
I
her
don't
last
know.
name.
Does it
Butchering
matter?
her
Just call her
name.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I gotta put her in the number 3 spot. I still gotta take Rachel Bilson over her, but God fucking damn it, man, this girl is an absolute
She's attractive.
smoke. She's beyond attractive, dude. She's amazing. She's actually
I can
amazing.
give you my
And
3.
just
I can give you my 3.
let me see it.
I think I've got it. I mean, the problem with my number 3 is there's probably like 5 people that if I looked them up, I could probably put in this spot. But
Yeah.
for
Gal Gadot,
current
yeah.
relevancy, yeah, Godot. Yeah, I think is. I don't know. if you
Although I don't
pronounce
think
the
that's how
T.
she pronounces it. Honestly,
think
I've
it's
watched
Godot.
interviews with her, and
I think
there's
it's
a
Godot
T
or-
at the end.
Something like that. I don't know. She's a god. Just god.
She's
Leave it at
amazing.
god.
Wonder Woman. She's Wonder Woman. All right.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder
There
Woman.
you go.
Number 3.
All right, number 3, Alexandra Daddario.
Oh, she's my number 1.
No!
She's my number 1.
Guys are like Eskimo freebie
Okay.
brothers.
She's my number 1. My
Oh,
God, she's a God.
She's a smart
Damn,
girl.
she is so hot. My
Yeah.
fuck,
She
man,
gra-
her eyes.
she
My
grabbed
God.
me. Yeah, the eyes are crazy. But, she got me in True Detective when I didn't even know who she was until I saw her in True Detective, and then it all went downhill from there. And she is attractive.
Oh man, and she's in Baywatch,
Yeah.
dude. When I watched Baywatch the other day, I was like, oh. Oh, and she's not even like she's not even trashy hot. She's just like she carries herself well. Like even in Baywatch, she is dressed appropriately. It was like it was always like a tease. Like you had some other chicks in the movie that were just pretty much you pretty much see everything but the fucking nip.
Oh no, my
But-
better half just showed up in chat. I'm doomed, boys. I don't know if I can say number 1.
Oh,
I don't
you're
know.
so saying
I'm
it.
like getting
You're so
well.
saying-
She's 4,000. She's like 4,000 kilometers away right now, so she can't punch me yet.
Yeah, Oxy.
But,
He just said Alexandra Daddario
Number 2 or no, number
as
3.
number 2. He even said he eat her ass. Like that's how hot she is.
Easy there, killer. Don't put me under the bus. I didn't say that for her.
I would.
I have a phone call that I must
but
take.
maybe.
One moment.
Are you serious right now? Fine, go do it.
I have to take this.
Okay, mute your
What is he
mic, you
doing?
doorknob.
Oh, is he got a
He's
phone?
got a phone call he
phone
has
call?
to take. It has to be pretty
Oh,
important
yeah,
if he's
see,
running off
he
right
didn't,
now.
See, he didn't have a number 2 or a 3.
You know who's not calling him right now? Alexandra Daddario.
Definitely not calling him, dude. I thought Panic was gonna give us fucking like Zac Efron and shit. I thought we were gonna go down that road.
Zac Efron. No, that's anyway. Okay, so your number 1 was my number 3, so that's unfortunate. We've kind of ruined the surprise. But my number 1 is and has been, so Jeff's number 1 changed. My number 1 has not changed in probably the same length of time that Jeff, has had Rachel in number 1, and that's Adriana Lima, who is the has been not as much anymore because she's getting up there and had a kid.
She's getting
but
older.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Victoria's Secret model for the longest time, and that's like a 15 out of 10. Adriana Lima.
Yeah. Oh.
She married some bench warmer from the NBA, and just their kids are going to be like 17 feet tall. They're going to be absolutely enormous. But she's been number 1 for the longest time, for sure. So those are our 3. Jeff, we know is Alexandra. So Panic, you gave us 1.
I gave you 2.
2?
2.
Really?
Scarlett Johansson, Kristen Krug.
Oh, Scarlett
and
Oh,
Johansson.
right.
Olivia
Scarlett
Wilde.
Scarlett Johansson. Okay, yeah, okay. All right, well, what's 3 then?
Okay.
What's 3?
Olivia Wilde. You took
You
a.
said
you
Olivia
took one of
Wilde.
mine too. You took one of mine.
I apologize. Well, then there you have it. There's
We're
3.
just all awkward Eskimo brothers now.
It's just that's highly unfortunate. I'm just glad that it wasn't. The one thing though is nobody ever says Adriana Lima, so I'm always safe on that one. Nobody's ever.
Yeah, it's a good
said
choice
it.
too. I can't even rebuttal it. I can't even be like, nah, what's wrong with you? Like, nah. Nah, she's
No,
hot.
it's literally impossible.
She is hot. So there you have it, guys. There it is. That's
There
the
you have
top.
it.
That's the top 3. I mean, I could do a top 10 list, but I'm not going to put you through it.
Jeff's
But,
got a deep list. I struggled to get
deep.
the 3. Jeff's got probably 20
Hey, man.
people.
I love women. They don't
That's
go
true.
unnoticed. I love women.
true.
And when you're married for as long as I am, you take notice.
Okay, hold on. Back
more.
Whoa. How long have you been married? How long have you been married?
Well, I've been married a couple of years now. We're going on 3 years, but I've been with the same woman for 8 years, man. That's a long time, man. That's a long time.
When you've been married as long as I have, he said.
Well, it feels like
shit.
I mean, nothing, dude. We were engaged for 4 years. I mean, technically, we've been married for like God knows how long. We just
6?
didn't say our vows. That's a long time, dude. In this day and
That's
age,
funny.
what the fuck, dude? People getting divorced after 6 months.
It's just
People are
yeah, but
sucking
it's just-
$50,000 a month on a motherfuckers.
You sound like you're a fucking 55, 60-year-old man. Like 30 years now and putting up with your shit. Like, no, 2 years and a couple of years of engagement.
Fuck off.
Dude just broke 30 years old. Ah, it's been too long. But yeah, that's kind of funny.
Well, it's not that it's been too long. It's just it's been a while. It's been a while. So you
That's
get it.
true.
You know, you start to notice things. You know, I would love to have our women on here and give them their top 3. I'd love to hear their top 3 bangable dudes. Because I bet you their lists are longer than ours.
Chris Pine,
Oh,
Ryan Gosling.
I think. Okay, I know.
But
I know
okay,
Kayla's would be.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you what. If I was going for it, I would tell you I'd let him hit it. I've got 3 dudes. You got dudes.
Oh,
you got
you're
man
saying
crush
you're
on?
saying that there's
Man
3
crush.
guys that you would let hit your.
man crush.
You're talking about your man crush. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah, man crush.
Oh, we're going there. We're going a little rainbow kappa. Okay,
Ryan Gosling, number 1.
okay.
Without a question. All right, Chris Pine coming in number 2. Number 3, might be Hugh Jackman on that one.
Ooh, okay.
Those are the 3.
My number 1 most certainly is man. It's a toss up. You go, Panic. You go.
Go with Ryan Reynolds. I'll take a Hugh Jackman in there, and then let's go. You know what? We'll throw in Chris Pratt just because he seems like he'd be funny.
Oh, Chris is
Pratt,
great.
That's a good one too.
He'd be making you laugh while he fucked you up.
I'm definitely so my number 1 hasn't changed. My number 1 would definitely be Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Number 2, yeah, that guy is smooth as fuck, man. Talented and smooth, just smooth criminal.
You're not wrong.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, number 1. Number 2 is Zac Efron. That guy is fucking shredded to shit. That guy's body is ridiculous.
He's got abs that most people didn't even know existed.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And then number 3, I'm going old school, boys. Just because there's so much
Clooney?
motherfucking swag. So much motherfucking swag, you just can't handle it. Will Smith.
Oh, black
Will
don't
Smith.
crack.
I gotta go Will Smith because Will Smith is he is one of the smoothest motherfuckers in Hollywood. He just is.
You know what? You know what takes away brownie points for me with Will Smith? Okay, a couple of things. His children.
Yeah.
That's basically just killed the man crush boner right out of the gate. He's got a son that is quite possibly certifiably insane.
You
and
want
his
to know what's
daughter's not
crazy?
too far behind.
You know, I was gonna say
What?
Denzel Washington, but he's a little too old. It's kind of weird. But here's the thing about Jaden. All right, Jaden is he's a fucking weirdo, dude. But some people may agree with me, and others may not. And the ones that don't probably have written Jaden off. Jaden is actually a pretty artistic and talented guy. Like,
I'm not gonna deny that.
As crazy as that sounds, he's like
still
Justin
insane.
Bieber. Justin Bieber at the start was like a little shit, a little like, you know, a young guy in fame. And although he didn't have super rich parents and stuff, but Jaden has got a lot of swag. He's very artistic. He's outside the box. He's like a black Shia LaBeouf. Or a black Shia LaBeouf. Yeah, he is like a black Shia LaBeouf. I mean,
They're both crazy.
I think
They're
it's
both
just,
artistic.
Yeah, he's like an underground. He's like this underground fucking movement that whenever I see him do shit, I'm like, God damn, what the fuck? This shit's fire. But at the same time, like, this guy's a fucking twat too. He just looks like a little shit, and I can't
What does that
look
mean?
past.
Nobody knows, but it's provocative.
Oh, man, he's
that's
got
that's literally Jaden's whole life is nobody knows, but it's provocative. That's literally like if there was a tagline for Jaden Smith, that is his entire being. He just everything on Twitter, every word starts with a capital letter. Like nothing makes any sense. You know,
it's stupid. It's stupid. I shouldn't have compared him to Justin Bieber because Justin Bieber is infinitely more talented than what Jaden is.
He's gonna blow up though. You know why? He's doing K-pop this year, bro.
Ooh, Justin is?
Jaden's doing K-pop, bro.
Oh fuck.
Jaden's he's crazy. He's crazy enough for K-pop. Might as well do it.
Oh my god, he would own it, dude. He'd be in one of those music videos that you love, bro. He'd be all colorful and shit. He'd have like dreadlocks and be doing all kinds of weird shit.
I'm ready. G-Dragon and Jaden together at last. I can see it.
He's got some cool stuff, man. Jaden just came out. Not just came out. It's been like a year now, but he had some music video out. He had the freshest pair of kicks on, and it was like just super artistic, and it was just dope as fuck. And I was like, my god, this guy, like to the hip hop heads and like people that like just really enjoy some really fresh stuff. I couldn't believe it. The guy with the right people behind him and the right direction, I think he could be something pretty cool. I think in time he's gonna get better.
You know how I see this going? He's gonna turn up and be Kanye fucking West. That's what we're gonna get.
We're
gonna get Kanye. It's just Kanye hit crazy later in life. Jaden hit that shit out of the gate. Puberty happened and he went batshit, and so we're hitting that early. And hard and so you know it's going to be Jaden surrounding himself with like other Kanye West like lights, and then it's going to be funny to watch. Like I do look forward to when he is not underground and he comes out, because it's going to be like, what is the reveal going to be like? It's going to be Christmas morning.
Oh, it's going to be
open
crazy.
That package up, and it's going to be complete bananas, right? It's going to be absolutely nuts. But yeah, that he might kill the man crush status for his father, because he is a little bit. You know, he's cuckoo. He's a little cuckoo.
But anyway, I would be interested to hear if for the ladies out there, Adam's woman and my woman, to hear what their top 3 dudes are.
I already know what Gab's list is.
Ready to hear it? I'm ready.
Ready to hear it?
I'm ready.
And this is don't take this the wrong way. I'm fucking serious right now. You look at chat, all right? Keep eyes on chat when I say this. You know what the list is? Adam Morehouse. I'm not even trying to be like fucking. That's what she is going to say. I'm not like watch
Doesn't
it right
like
now.
it.
Here it comes.
Doesn't look like it.
Wait for it.
It's the shocked face
It'll
saying
be
it's
there.
probably wrong.
It'll be there. I'm telling you.
Funny, bro. That's funny, bro.
I'm telling you, that's what it is.
That's
she
funny.
won't have one. She's the type of person that's like, I'm with you. I don't care about anybody else.
Shut the fuck up.
That's what it is. Like
listen, we're talking. Listen, Adam. I don't want to deflate your ego. I don't want to deflate your ego.
Dude, I know. This is what I tell. I'm like, we both know that we are not the most amazing people on the planet. That's cool. That's my stance. It's like, look, I know I'm like a solid 7.5 on a good day. That's cool. I'm down for that. But you gotta it's hypothetical.
She did actually validate that.
Listen.
See?
Listen.
I told you.
Listen. I'm not. Listen. Okay. Anyway, sure, man. Hey. I told you. By all means, there you go. Congratulations, Adam. You found one that literally is not attracted to any other human being except for you, sir. You have made it, bro. You have officially made it.
Oh, I know. Do you know what Kayla's list is? Do you have a guess at what Kayla's list is? I know
I would say
probably there.
I would say probably Zac Efron would be number 1 for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, if she wasn't sleeping right now, I'd go upstairs and bug her, and ask her. And
is she a Magic Mike guy?
I don't think so. I would say probably maybe Joseph Gordon-Levitt would be on there too.
Okay.
But I don't know. I have no idea. I do know Zac Efron though. I definitely have heard her mention Zac Efron multiple times.
You know what, to add to my man crush list, I can never remember his name. Okay? But because he's in Magic Mike as well. The dude who's married to Sofia Vergara from Modern Family. You obviously know who Sofia Vergara is.
Yeah, I know who she is, but who her husband is? Is he a
the Al Bundy guy?
No, you fuck! What the hell is wrong with you? No, what's his name? Gabs will know because she finds him attractive. That's definitely on her list. If there was a list, I guarantee, 100%. I just can't remember his name for the life of me. What's his name?
I don't know. I have no idea. Sophia's pretty hot though.
Let
me look this up.
I can't believe you actually said Al Bundy Panic. I want to fucking smack you right now. This is just, please.
Joe Gonzalez?
Yeah, Joe Gonzalez. He's also a Magic Mike. This dude is jacked as shit.
Okay. I don't know him too well.
And incredibly, this dude is just he's a good looking dude. He's a handsome
that's
son
like
of a
that.
bitch.
He looks like what's his face that's playing Aquaman.
That would also be on Gab's list. Actually,
yeah. See, you see how fast you look how fast you change. That's why I'm like, dude.
It's
women
what I'm
aren't
saying
attracted
she would
to
say
dudes
versus what I'm saying she would. I like guaranteed. So like Joe is on there, and the dude who plays Aquaman.
See, she's even in chat saying, "Yeah, he's so hot." Well, there you go. I'm like, come on, what kind of? Everybody's attracted to other people. Doesn't mean you're gonna like try and like fucking run out and like stalk them and like sex them or some shit. But I mean, we're all human. Fuck. I mean, there's attractive people in the world. It is what it is.
Sofia Vergara into my number 4 slot because that woman is aging like a fucking god.
She's aging like fine wine, man. She's aging like fine wine.
Like if they ever had children, which would be kind of, I think they're both in they're get up there, but like such beautiful children would come out of those two. It would be unbelievable. Those are two very attractive people. For sure.
Doesn't that just make you sick, though? You're just like, fuck you and your so attractiveness. You attractive motherfuckers. Jason Momoa, that guy, man. That guy's handsome, too, man. That guy's like a man's man. Yeah. You fucking put a plaid fucking shirt on that man, you give him an axe, and you tell him to go out into the fucking woods and cut a tree down. I'm telling you, this guy...
You're going to turn Jason Momoa into a fucking Canadian?
Straight up, dude.
You get a wood chopper.
You give that guy an axe and a plaid T-shirt, and you just watch trees get pregnant. Shit is real.
Trees, he impregnates the tree as he's chopping them down. They're just getting impregnated and giving birth to little trees everywhere.
It's exactly, and they multiply. he will single-handedly just bring back clean oxygen in this world. So just go in one tree at a time, and they'll just the roots will just God. Yeah. That's where I'm at right now.
These lists are incredible. I like this. This is a fun game.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel gay.
I like this. I don't give a shit. I'm not. I don't give a shit.
Oh, dude,
these dudes are so.
I'm
damn
pretty confident. There's some handsome ass motherfuckers out there. There's some handsome ass motherfuckers out there. Even his little fucking cut-up eyebrows, you handsome cut-up eyebrowed motherfucker.
That just adds character.
Oh my God, it's like, damn it, just hold an axe, motherfucker.
That takes him up a notch. If we had that fucked up eyebrow, it would wreck our lives, but that guy, it makes him better.
Oh, yeah, damn right, dude.
Makes him better.
He's like, yeah, I got that scratch from a girl trying to claw her way to me. I'm just so fucking hot. It's just battle.
We've gone off the rail, boys. We've gone off the rail.
I'm starring Game of Thrones. I'm fucking Khaleesi.
Oh my lord, that's so freaking good.
Anyway, before this podcast just gets real weird. That's the show. That's the show.
Okay, well that's the show. Before it gets too weird, we haven't crossed weird yet. Obviously, we need to slow up before shit gets out of control. Ladies and gentlemen, that was something. I don't even know what I'm going to title this episode. This was so all over the place. But we'll
Pictures
come up
of
with
hot
something.
dudes, just the sexiest guys that you can find.
I'm
Just
putting-
collage
I'm
them all
putting-
on a thumbnail.
I'm putting Joe and Jason together, shirtless, just on the friggin' thumbnail.
Just
That's what it's
holding an
gonna be.
axe.
Just say technical alpha comes out.
Yeah, that'll be it. Oh my lord, that's too fucking funny. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for listening. Thank you for all of your support. We're getting ever closer to that $5,000 goal on Patreon, which means when that happens, maybe we're gonna watch movies with Joe Manji and Jania, whatever his name is, Joe fucking Hot Pants and Jason Momoa, and do commentary and talk about how attractive they are for the 2 hours we're watching the movie.
I feel like Jeff's gonna
So
suggest
that's-
Magic Mike.
I feel like I want to for the movie stuff. I wanna show you guys movies that you probably have never seen before that I think you'll absolutely love. Like just some absolute fire of movies that you probably haven't seen before that you're gonna love.
Brokeback Mountain.
I want to suggest the original Old Boy, not the American remake, but the old ass one.
Yeah,
Like the
I've
original.
never seen it, so. But anyway, we'll figure that out. But that'll be a fun series for sure.
We'll cross that bridge. But yeah, but thank you so much, guys. And once again, the reviews on iTunes really going a long way. So if you take the time to do that, we really do appreciate it. We will see you guys next week. But at the very least, some assortment of E3 content over the next few days will be rolling out. We haven't decided exactly what's going to happen for that, but there will be something in some form, and then some kind of recap, I'm sure. Because there will be lots to talk about. So you can look forward to that. And for those on Twitch, there might even be some live streams involved with that as well. So be sure to keep an eye.
Of us.
Yeah, we'll be it will be a rotation of sorts, probably because of schedules and everything else. But we'll try and make something happen. So you can look forward to that as well. And before we go, we've got a list of people that are probably as attractive as those to Joe and Jason, at least in our books.
These are all my number ones.
Oh, Panic's been saving his number ones for the Patreon producer list. I see how it is.
Good call, Panic.
I see how it is.
You gold digger. Taking a page
Beast
rated at
doll.
Jason Frazier or Brendan Fraser's life.
Yeah, Beastall kid. He's got lots of money. Go after him.
He's giving it all to us, for Christ's sake.
That's right. We're his alimony. Beastall, thank you so much. Jetrix
Yes,
as
sir.
well. Mr. Miyagi. Actually, oh crap, I didn't get a chance to move Mr. Miyagi. He's actually next to Jetrix in this list, but his name didn't get moved, so I apologize. I will wax on and off extra hard this week just for that mistake, Mr. Miyagi. Postal Panda, Jamaican Jazz, Adam B, Toad of Steel, Naily, J.A., Derek P, Fry C, and Ice Wolf. As always, thank all of you for your fantastic
Thank
support.
You guys.
How many openings we got there for that $100 mark? I'm
I don't know. You can go look. I'm not sure what we're technically. I think it's supposed to be 6, but
we got too many there, guys. Right? Too many.
the sellout is real. Go fill the $100 spots. But yeah, we'll be around some more for the E3 stuff. So once again, guys, thank you so much. And until we see you in the next ones, peace.